Tanks report in.
Red 10 standing by.
Red 7 standing by.
Red 3 standing by.
Red 6 standing by.
Red 9 standing by.
Red 2 standing by.
Red 11 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
I'm down to get cigar later. Joe has heard this song live. But you guys didn't believe me. Are we live? Are we hot? Mike's hot. Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. Ryan Stone. Ryan Stone's with us today. Oh my goodness. I've got Aaron Clarey in here. Buddy Top. I've got Miguel, who's going to inform us whether park phone is long or short.
It's real long.
I've got Joe Marron. Marron. Not Macron, Marron. Macron. We're going to get down to it. This is the casual stream. We had to do this because Ryan Stone has taken political asylum from Canada today. Yeah, we got video. Don't worry. Video's coming up. Where to go? Did you get it?
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Now we're on. All right. Yay. Okay, round the horn. Who do I have? I have Ryan Stone. Ryan.
Hey.
This is your first time in the States, or this is no, not in the States. This is your first time
First time seeing this stuff.
In the
long time watcher, first time caller.
What are we? We're like an asylum city for you, aren't we?
There usually is more yappy Chihuahua girls around this guy, though. I was kind of looking forward to that.
And I got Arron, who's going to teach us about tax abatement today.
Yeah, tell us about tax abatement.
It's legal.
It's legal.
Tax
Is
abatement.
it perfectly legal? Though?
It is perfectly legal.
It's not perfectly legal. That's tax avoidance.
And I've got Miguel Munoz
De La Torre. DCC dog.
Yes, you are now back in Las Vegas
I'm
permanently.
permanently,
Yes. So the
newborn
has looks like he could beat my ass.
Yeah,
now
he's out here. He's out here kicking now.
Yeah, in case you guys don't know, Miguel had a kid, so that's what
First one that I know of.
Yeah. And I got Joe Marron, who's going to tell us all about Reignite.
Reignite Alpha.
Reignite Alpha, yes, today. So, what do you think of Las Vegas so far, and the United States in general?
And Pink Box.
What do you know? But more importantly, what do you think of Buc-ee's? That's what we'd really like to know.
You didn't take me to Buc-ee's. Get close. You didn't take me to Buc-ee's.
Get over a little bit.
Take me to
scooch over
Maverick.
This way. Yeah.
Maverick.
Oh, you went to Maverick. Oh, well,
okay.
Yeah.
Canada, you need to know this. You are learned helplessness. They're like shocking. You don't even know everything here in Canada. How many times did I tell you?
Oh, at least 20 times. Sincerely, it wasn't a shtick. Yeah.
Like after we were hanging out, we went to some place to grab like a giant cookie, which was awesome. He gave me a drink, had a plastic straw in it. And I drank and I was like, I spilled it because I wasn't used to it. And I realized I haven't had a plastic straw in 4 years.
Are you only supposed to have paper straws? And
paper, or they had this weird coconut one that's not, it's like a hybrid.
That was the first thing that Trump did when he came into office. It's like, no more paper straws.
Yeah,
We're going back to plastic.
But it's like everything, it's not like, plastic straw, boo-hoo. Yeah, there's 500 of those that I don't even notice anymore. And I get here, you guys don't have any of it. And every day he takes me to something better, and it makes me sadder and angrier. And I'm not going to lie, I'm like really angry. It's not just the straws. What was the other thing?
Well,
your
gas
was
$3.30.
$3.30
Gas is cheaper.
a gallon.
And we get it from California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
California
is more expensive.
People were like, don't move to California if you come to the States. The tax. I'm like, dude, it is the most conservative Canadian province. Has more taxes than California.
Is that Alberta?
Yeah.
Don't worry, you guys are seceding very soon.
Oh, they will. I hope they do, man, because I got my I was born there, so like I get in. I don't have to worry about all the visa paperwork. It'd be awesome.
Well, we've already made the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America now, so why not take over Canada while we're at it?
Showing me the cost of houses, and I was like, oh, you pay just to smell the carpets on a house costs $500,000 in Canada. Here you're like, yeah, it's $500,000. You can get them 8 bedrooms and this, and it's like, I'm just angry.
Yeah.
So you're telling me
take it out on this guy.
So you're telling me Chinese nationals don't own all of the houses?
Oh, they own most of the houses. That's why the price is so high. Then meth labs, every now and then one blows up, and they have to pretend like they don't know how. Oh, it must have been a gas leak. Right.
I got everybody in the chat going, oh my God, you're actually here in the United States. Yes, I told you this last Sunday. On my show, I said he's coming in. So this should not be a shock to anybody. So you like it here? Are you gonna move? Are we gonna move?
Want to?
Are you gonna seek political side? Are you going to defect It's like an Eastern Bloc country.
Oh, dude. Green card. I'm sold. All I need to do is know if I'm like popular or valuable enough that they'll give me the visa for it.
Mhm.
And that's the only thing I'm hoping for. It'll really suck if they're like, no, you're not good enough for this.
Oh man. Oh, but you have to. So what's the process and all that?
You have to prove there's like 8 criteria. You have to prove you're important in your field.
Mhm.
You have a body of work. You have accreditation. Like they use Nobel Prize as an example, but whatever your niche is, you have to have some kind of like award from it. There's a bunch of stuff like that. So technically, knowing you
Mhm.
and making fun of your Ibanez might be one of those ones. But it's
So
like,
you need me to vouch for you, is what you're saying?
you know what I love about America? You know what I love about America? Here, like in Canadian law, it's like checklist, whatever, lots of paperwork. Here, it's almost like sell me this pen. That's the visa application.
Oh, really?
Make the case that I'm awesome.
Oh, yeah. They.
And I was like, that is swell.
We need you with an attitude.
That's the most American thing I've ever seen. It's just at the consulate. Like,
So you really want to come to America?
yes.
I wonder if the pictures we have from hiking would sell your
Convinced
case. Like,
them.
look
Ryan,
at
can you
me
get closer
out
to the
the
mic?
Wild West hiking.
No.
No, you don't think so?
No, it makes no bearing on anything.
No,
All it does is make your feet hurt
Oh.
and have you get clay all over your car and force the guy to clean the car for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Clarey knows you're cool with him if you go hiking with him.
Worst mistake I ever made in my life.
You think it's?
Where did you go?
We went to Zion National Park,
Okay.
which is one of the top 3.
Okay.
Which is like Utah. I don't know
it
how
is
many. That's like-
Utah.
yeah.
Not like Utah.
How much water did you need to go on this thing? Do you have to
How much
bring
water
that?
did you need to go on?
I
this
needed
thing?
half a thing of Diet
need
Pepsi,
0.
and I smoked a cigar on the way because it was that easy of a hike.
Do you know what this guy does? He sits there on the internet all day, like 10 things you need to know to be a better man. And you know how those lists always have like drink 8 glasses of water? He doesn't drink any water in his hikes.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I
Such a
do,
shill.
like if it's a longer one, but this was 6.6 miles.
We were gone for 12 hours. That's a long one.
Most of that was driving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only in America will you say, let's go on a hike and then you drive for 6 hours.
yeah.
Here I'm all like, oh, we got Ryan. He's going to come into Las Vegas. We're going to go here. We're going to go this. We're going to go to all these different places. The first place you take him is like back to you.
Well, you didn't want to do Vegas stuff though. Like you weren't like, you don't want to do the strip or anything. You want
No,
something
it's-
different. I'm like, you know what's different? And within earshot or driving shot.
But then you're like a dozen times.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, you have. Okay,
I don't want to drink a sugary, unalcoholic drink out of the Eiffel Tower. I'm over it.
So I took him to.
You don't want a Fat Tuesday then.
Or that sound, you know, that Vegas sound of the guy clacking the car.
Oh,
In my head, that's like I know that's the prostitution sound for
Right.
me.
Right.
Yeah,
So, but you got to see something different this
I
time.
did.
Yeah.
It actually is nice. I don't want to let it go to your head by giving you a compliment because nobody does. But yeah,
Still waiting.
you were a very swell host. The hike was very nice. It was very weird how you were angry at those Zoomers because they were slow, but whatever. Didn't even know these people. You know that.
Are you selling him out?
Oh,
They, when you get into that park, you know, it's down to one lane both way, you know, and you have a lot of the RV people driving.
Hmm.
And then when we let Ryan drive, he stays in kilometers per hour where I'm like, okay, just give me the car. And then I drove like through the park and all that.
Mhm.
Heaven forbid I'm in a rush to go nowhere.
We had to get back to have dinner with
So we
you.
can come, yeah. So we
We
can
made
come back.
it.
Yeah,
We were about 5
that was
minutes
a good
late.
Your
time.
yelling just made things worse. Just killed the chill.
No,
Did you have a better time at Bel Air? Did you have a better time hiking?
Oh, let me tell you about how great Bel Air is.
What's
It's
wrong with
cool
Bel
in there.
Air?
The air conditioning, the view was wonderful.
I bet it was.
The people were friendly. The family was doing what the conversation was divine. I would rank it on a scale from like hiking to 10,
Yeah,
11.
11.
11.
Okay.
No clay. Roller doesn't have
God,
to wash my car after
I
this.
feel like I
Dude,
should
we
have worn
had-
my Hawaiian
We
shirt
couldn't even
today.
get that big chunk of clay up.
I know.
Remember that? Like it was there was this, a tractor had come through and dug up the road we came in on. It's all clear. We're trying to move this huge chunk.
It's called an excavator. Do not let people. Don't
all right.
call it
An excavator
tractor.
came through and tore up the road, and we were in a rental.
This is
car.
Zamboni.
Zamboni. Yeah.
My family used to own a logging company when I was growing up, so I know all the heavy equipment names. So when he calls it something wrong, it's like somebody saying tax abatement when they really mean
Right,
tax
right.
So,
abatement.
so you're the one debating for all the deforestation in Canada.
I wanted to be, but NAFTA, we decided not to cut down trees. Softwood lumber. It sounds like a goofy thing, but it like decimated my town. People like crack came in and the Hells Angels. It was brutal.
Dude.
So when he calls it an excavator, a tractor, it's just like I want to. No offense.
Yeah. No.
In Minecraft, bang your head off the desk.
Yeah. Okay. That's all right.
But not for real. I love your face.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyways, yeah. So it cleaned the whole thing up. You know what I love about America?
What do you love about America?
We went on the hike. Hike was what, an hour? Hour and a half?
2 hours round trip.
A 2-hour trip. In that time, an excavator came, tore up the road, fixed the road.
Really?
In Canada, that would have been there for 6 years.
You need to you need to check out some of the road construction in Las Vegas first.
Oh, don't kill my magic.
It's faster than LA though. I'll say that.
It
I know
is.
that-
Yeah,
know
it
that for a
is
fact.
faster than freaking Reno too. I'll tell you that too. Yeah.
Reno is beautiful though. My God, I love the views in Reno. So beautiful.
Yeah. So what do you think of the studio? This is your first time in here, and you have to hear the story behind all of this. But what do you think of the studio? So,
I like it. It's good. It's professional. It's amazing. I do wish I had spent some time in that Florida bathroom you had in the old studio.
oh yeah.
With the tiles. And I recognize the plant from that studio. That's awesome.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm a nostalgic guy. I miss the old stuff.
Mhm.
But I guess you got to upgrade. You can't be using the same equipment for 10 years.
Yes, you can actually.
and just let it wear out.
Yes, you can actually.
No, sometimes you have to buy nicer stuff and give the audience more value.
I like to amortize my assets fully.
Amortize. huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like he has asshole consulting in the,
Yeah,
in
so-
the title.
See, I always just call it being cheap, but amortize.
Amortize and then depreciate.
That sounds much cooler than I'm a cheap. asset.
Amortize, if I recall correctly, amortize, you do that to intangible assets, and depreciate, you do
Oh,
to
intangible assets.
physical
like a podcast
assets.
studio.
No, the brand
This seems pretty
name of-
tangible.
No, that's
Bro, is this
that's
considered
what,
tangible good? Or is this
I would
intangible?
say- You mean like the whole studio or just the
Yeah, the whole
table?
studio.
this is a tangible.
This is
asset.
tangible.
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole thing is. Well, why don't you ask the the guy paying the rent over here?
Yes, sir. The local Jew. Yes, yes.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Oh no!
already
Here we go.
started.
Here we go.
Yes.
It's fine. I have a juice.
Do you? Me too.
I'm glad to give you
out of
everyone.
so much trouble. This is awesome.
Oh, God.
I appreciate being everyone's token quarter Jew. I appreciate that.
Dude, I'm like 20% black, so I'm like
I got you. Yeah, you're covered.
soft R.
Yeah.
But you're covered. Definitely end with an A. That's all I'm saying.
So you like it?
I love it.
You could be here?
I could
Could we start a show here?
if I'm here.
If you're here?
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, can you get a little closer to the mic?
Yeah.
Oh,
Scoot,
of course I can.
Scoot.
I already
Just-
said
that's
between
fine.
Clarey and I found out like in
Mhm.
person we got an Abbott and Costello routine. We bring you in. It's like Three's
Wow.
company.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, the thing that's funny right now is I see a lot of. I made this prediction back in, right around November last year, like right when the election had been done, and people were saying,
Right.
"Well, where do we go from here?" Right.
Right.
And so, well, if we follow sort of the same course that we have been, we're going to probably see a lot of these people who have been like really sort of red pill adjacent, or people who didn't want to be red pill during 2014 during the election cycle. Oh, suddenly they all want to be red pill now, and everybody wants to talk to you about the manosphere. We want to talk about adolescence, and we want to talk about all this other crap, right? And so suddenly it's the new hotness now. And I'm seeing people come out of the woodwork who previously wouldn't give me the time of day, who now suddenly want to say hi to me and they want to like
Inviting
sort
you
of
things.
they want inviting
Yeah.
me to things.
Oh,
yeah.
Trump doesn't return my calls.
Yeah.
My slop, my backup.
Yeah.
That hurts me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I said that, but then I think what's funny is a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing right now. Hey, we got Jedediah Bila back, which is freaking awesome.
Did she leave?
Yeah, well, she was out for a while. She
Oh.
kind of took a extended leave of absence for a very extended sabbatical, let's just say. But she just recently came back on, probably like the last 3 or 4 weeks. I was on her show about 2 weeks ago,
Oh, cool.
How's she doing?
and she's doing great, man. And I tell you, I told her she was moving around. She was moving from like Montana to Texas. She was in Florida, went up to New York. New York didn't work out for her. Then she went to Montana. They really loved it up there, but then the place to be is in Texas right now. So she's got a new podcast studio. She's got a new team. She's got a new production crew and everything else there. And so she's kind of back into doing her old stuff, and she can own it now too. So it's not, I'm assuming that she's out from under the old Valuetainment contract.
She worked under that before.
Yeah, she was working
Oh.
for PBD for a long time, and I think half the reason she was gone for so long was because she still had to just wait till that contract wore out. But then there was a lot of other stuff that was going on, with her life and everything else too.
yeah.
So it was just really chaotic for her. But now she's like back on top of it again, and it's like old times, man. It's great to have her back.
She's
on.
tubing. She's tubing now normally, or she's under someone.
She's doing it. No, she's on her own
Oh,
channel,
okay, good.
and she's it's all pre-recorded. She doesn't do any live stuff
Okay.
like that, but she's back on top again. So I'm glad to see her coming back. So I throw like articles and stuff at her.
Was she doing a New York stint for a little bit?
She was there for a little while, but I think she was just sort of like doing therapy or like recovery or
Oh,
something, because she
okay,
got
okay.
like toxic mold or something like that.
Got
Her
you.
lungs.
Got you. Dang.
I have no idea what, but that's how it worked out.
Well, if she's looking for a co-host, I hear Matt Walsh is looking for
Oh
work.
God. And then that's another thing. Then you got Daily Wire that's basically imploding in the last like week or so.
Coincidentally,
Yeah,
just as
imagine
USA
that.
pulls funding for
Hey,
everything.
say.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm watching pretty much everything I was saying sort of unfold. And I said it'll be probably by quarter 2 of 2025, and so
Who doesn't have a father now? Matt Walsh.
whose trophies are going to show off now, Matt Walsh? Yeah. Well, no, I thought it was funny because like Matt Walsh went after Megyn Kelly for.
Oh, really?
Because Megyn Kelly wanted to pile on now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And I don't even pay attention in the news.
Yeah,
No.
Megyn Kelly decided that she wanted to like pop off about like how real men ought to do this and how the manosphere, without mentioning the manosphere,
Yeah.
Right.
is talking about like, oh well, these good Christian men who are God-fearing, God-loving Christian men don't want to marry like business women, don't want alpha females. And I'm like, and yeah, it's like this is a conversation we've had like since 2012.
Your article
at least a decade
since
ago.
Dalrock was
Yeah.
writing.
Your
you know?
article for it was 2014.
Yeah.
I use that all the time.
Yeah. And so it's funny to me to see all these people who just suddenly, 10 years later, like rediscovering, like they're catching up to my work, 10 years later.
Did you know how like 70% of divorces are initiated by women?
Women? Yeah.
Hey, 2010 Manosphere called. They want their hot takes back.
How much you think though? It's not even a mainstream media, but a structure. That's why I was asking you guys last night about, well, why does Daily Wire need a corporate entity?
Mhm.
So mainstream media is gone. You don't need that anymore. You don't need radio
Right.
towers. You don't need any of these physical assets that you can depreciate.
Tangible.
Tangible
Tangibles.
Yes. And now everyone's kind of off on their own. They're just scrambling to go get their own piece. It's just keeping the news cycle fresh. And I guess the election cycle's over now. So now they're like, okay, what's hot?
Well, we're the media now. That's why.
Well, and that was going to be my other. It's like,
Yeah.
well, we've been talking about. Now they're just catching up. I don't know. Go
I think
home.
they're scrambling for work.
No, that's exactly it. They are scrambling for
Like
work
with one of them homeless signs, like we'll give dignity for food.
because
Oh,
the
man.
old system is all gone.
Who was the name of the chick that was just calling out Tim Pool
Who is
recently?
it?
Well, no, Tim Pool had some secret meeting with Netanyahu.
No.
No,
Oh.
dead serious. And it was
What?
under the do you know what the Chatham
Channel.
House rules are?
No.
It's basically like it's supposed to be like I don't know if you have to sign an NDA or something like that, but if you get invited to like a discussion under the quote unquote Chatham House, I hope I'm saying it right, Chatham House rules, you're not supposed to reveal. And like this was for journalists. If they were going to meet with the president during wartime, if they're going to meet with like a foreign leader during times of like civil unrest or something like that, they wanted to be able to sort of like get out what they wanted to say without having to really sort of be held accountable for what we're going to say is what we're going to say kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, they were supposed to be doing that. And Tim Pool got invited to some secret meeting with Netanyahu. And he was one of many other influencers at this meeting, right? Well, no, he wasn't. yes. Despite popular opinion, I'm not actually Jewish. Okay,
Interesting.
I don't know what you've heard.
That's exactly what a Jew would say.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I have put on a yarmulke before. You know the story behind that. But no, I was listening to this, and she was calling him out for like basically talking about it, which is you're not supposed to. But the thing is that was under the old sort of auspices of being a journalist. It was part of journalistic integrity. It was part of checks and balances that you used to have when you had like AP Newswire. The AP has like rules that it has to follow. It has to do all kinds of different, reviews and checks before they can actually publish something. Influencers don't have to do that. And these guys like, foreign nationals, people like the Russian government's paying off, buying out tenant media. You've got Progressive Victory on the Democratic side buying influencers as early as summer of 2022. They don't have any journalistic integrity, first of all, but they don't have any rules that they have to follow either. They don't have journalism degrees. They don't have any legal ties to what they say or what they don't say, and they don't generally put out retractions if they get something wrong. And even if they did put out a retraction, more people will have listened to the false information than they will to the retraction. And so here's Tim Pool talking about what he was discussing with Netanyahu under the quote unquote Chatham House rules. And the reason I'm saying this is it's interesting because to me, people like Tim Pool are now the media. we're the media.
Yeah.
They hear stuff from you. They hear stuff from anybody
They
at
haven't
this
paid me
table.
to do any of this stuff, so I'm kind of annoyed.
Well, yeah, unless I'm getting paid for it, right? But like, if you have something to say about it, if you have some sort of background in your particular niche, you're just as good as any journalist right now,
Well,
because in some ways I've got more of a pull than most journalists do with my just my YouTube channel.
That's been the case for a long time. If you look at social media accounts, like I always, as a metric, I always look at people's Twitter account and like, how are you established in the journalism industry? You're older than me and you have less Twitter followers than me. Like I wasn't even trying. And I don't think they could catch up, frankly.
No.
Like I think they're so far, they've been doing it the old way and the outdated way and whatever with the handicap of working for large corporations. I can understand the bureaucracy involved in that. We've left them in the dust 10 years ago. So I find it funny. You'll either have I'll give you an example of two girls, one washed up spinster, one young, I want to be popular. Megyn Kelly, the washed up spinster, like, hey gang, did you know? It's like, and it's Bruce Willis at the Nakatomi Plaza, like, welcome to the party, pal. But the terrorists have been there for 10 years. Like, where have you been? And you remember Amy Nixon? I think you were tagged on that. She's an economist out in Dallas. She focuses on the Dallas housing market. I actually follow her because she does good research. Also, not a left field. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what it was. Women are oppressed or whatever. And I like literally said, please just stick with economics. Like go home. And so I think a lot of
make me a sandwich. I love it.
Well, yeah, kind of, but it's like this is fully covered. You don't know what you're doing, and you're going to have a younger generation. You know, Megyn Kelly went through the old school where journalism, the employer. A lot of these people, journalism is no longer the intention. It's I want to make a living as an influencer, and because sex is hot, because the sex war is hot, everyone's going to jump in on it, and they're not irrational about it either. It is a way to get some traction. But I think it's not going to be a new. Let's give ourselves some credit. We dug this up like Indiana Jones. Rediscovered it, polish up, put a shine on the arc and say, look, we rediscovered the arc. And like all the work we've done, like we figured this stuff out and found it again. And now everyone's like, hey, my God, did you know there's an arc over there? And you're like looking at them like,
you kind of called this too.
We just discovered
LiDAR.
LiDAR.
Psychology a couple of years back. Do you remember? Where guys like MLD John would come up with a seduction course. Meanwhile, shrinks like Dr. Sean Smith, whoever.
Yeah.
I went to medical school for 8 years. I want to be an influencer, and their practice is $50 an hour, but their whole life is devoted to that train. Meanwhile, ARC people over here, John could just put out a course, swinging nunchucks
from
around.
a freaking bubble bath, and like,
and all he had to do was just read the same books that he did to study, and now he's got 10 times as much money with.
Well, see, the problem is right now is that a lot of people are still kind of stuck in this 20th century mentality when it comes to like, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to make a lot, I'm going to earn a degree in X, Y, and Z. I'm going to work in this particular field, and that's what I'm going to be good at, and that's what I'm going to stick to. The problem is then you have, like I was saying before, like if you're a psychologist, if you're if you're any author,
or any expert, big society thing.
So if you have anything that's sort of like a public service kind of thing, it's not enough just to do your job. You also have to be sort of in the public eye all the time. So even if you are like, say, well, for instance, when we were talking about a psychologist, if you have a doctorate in clinical psychology, that means you had to go to school for at least like 8 to 10 years. First of all, put in all that money and all that time and dedicate all that time to your degree. And then that comes at a very tall cost too, if you're going to, get student loans for a useless degree. Right. So then from there, you've got to do what? You got to go get, malpractice insurance. You've got to go and find a physical place to run your practice. You probably want to get a secretary. You've got to have somebody to do the books. There's the business side of that whole thing. And so you're putting all of this time and effort into into a private practice. Meanwhile, you've got guys online who are just like, hey, I'm going to start my new course. I'm going to start my new Teachable, or my new, whatever it was, a Kajabi class.
Kajabi.
Yeah, my Kajabi class. Is Kajabi still a thing? I don't know.
I think it is. Yeah.
I'm going to start my new Kajabi class and sell videos of it online, and it's regenerating, renewable revenue. And that guy didn't have to put in 10 or 12 years plus all the expenses and pay back the loans that you have as well.
And the funniest part is the quality level. It's the same level.
No, I will disagree.
Which part?
The quality level. The amateurs do a better job than the pros, because the pros have been so co-opted for various reasons. Like I'm sorry, psychologists. I don't care if you got your doctorate. Why are Americans getting worse? I've always pointed out my own field. Economists are horrible. They're horrible. The economy would be doing better if economists were good. Now there's other things involved there, and the media failed to do their job. And I think, especially we owe it to younger people. And by younger, I mean like under 40, because they were getting whatever, the professional teachers, the professional psychologists, and they put it into practice. It don't work. And like, we need something now. And here, all of a sudden, you got the internet, coincidentally timed. And just with age and experience, you say, yeah, that don't work. Like, it's like some academic at West Point said, oh, well, the business strategy today. Yeah, but the enemy developed this thing. And on the front line, we made this fix around. And so that's what you got to use. They're going to take the $50 Kajabi class before they go and hire some academic, theoretician to solve their problem.
Yeah, perfect point. Like, I had an economist talk to me about how tax avoidance was illegal.
Oh, here we go.
I'm like, no, it's not illegal.
That's not illegal.
Not only is it
They
legal,
encourage you.
did you know it's like not just legal, it's perfectly legal. That's an adjective.
Can't wait till
You
you
add that for
flight is at
emphasis.
11 p.m. tomorrow. Can't wait for you to go.
And he went to economics school.
I did go to
You
economics.
got a fancy degree.
Anyway,
Do you have a certificate?
Did you draw the turtle or the pirate to get into economics school?
my
No
point
judgment.
still stands.
Draw the bunny.
But let's be honest. Like, how well were previous generations being served by all these what we could thought leaders of the media or all these experts? They weren't.
They
They weren't at all. They're
Yeah.
miserable. I mean, the millennial generation is an example of that, where they're just financially in horrible shape. They're miserable. They're depressed. And yeah, I mean,
Is millennials like 86 or is it 81 when it starts?
they're like
81? Right?
No, like 80. Every millennial who wants to be Gen X because they hate millennials, they always push to whatever their year is. So it's gone as far as 87, but it's like 1980.
It's 1980, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So so the oldest one's right now, what, 40,
45,
45, yeah.
mid 30s, mid 40s.
Right. And that's why that whole spinster, the whole spinster thing is starting to happen now, because for the female side is because they're all starting to age out of having kids almost. So like it's right now, it's like, you don't have a kid right now, where are all the guys?
Yeah.
That's why that whole
Oh yeah, that's where they're
schism-
hyper focused on men
What-
being useful.
Yes, right now. Yeah.
Let me give you a perfect example where the media and Johnny come
Okay.
lately's into that. They're all worried about the labor force participation rate. Why aren't men doing it? And I've called it the Scooby-Doo mystery forever. Let me tell you very simply why men aren't, their labor force participation rate is going down. Their number of hours worked are going down. Why they're in the NILF or the NEAT category is going up because women are fat. That's the main. No, you all laugh.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
And
I've
or
heard to say husky.
no man wants
Burly.
to have sex with them. No man wants to commit to them. Also, women in the media have told men that they're not needed. You have made it perfectly legal through affirmative action and DEI to discriminate against men. And you have made the requirements for education on both men or for employment on both parts of men and women a ridiculous amount of education. The media you will not see it. And people will send me articles or videos and, oh, we just can't figure it out. Why aren't the men wearing? I'm yelling, fat broads. And it's, well, men are on antidepressants. Maybe it's the water and this and that. And they
It's
bring
low
in-
testosterone
and men we need a government program.
Phytoestrogens in the water.
Right. And
Fluoride.
they'll never. Here's another thing. We got the balls to point it out because we got nothing to lose.
Right.
These guys got to adhere to some kind of outdated, damaging political correctness. So, oh, that's very interesting. Let's get a professor in here. No, that's why we're better. That's why guys come to us before they go talk to a therapist or something like that. Because we're straight. We're talking the real talk.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if we're not helping, we're not making it worse. That's the
True.
worst part. Is a lot of the advice and the shrinks and all that you get. It makes things worse.
But that's why right now, like on TikTok and Instagram, you're seeing all this. You're starting to see like a lot of the kind of girly talk shows and stuff talking about like, do you know these losers that are going over to third world countries to go fuck marry, like they're called passport bros.
Oh,
like and that's getting big now because like you're right, like no one wants to fuck these fat chicks. So then so they're starting to attack like all these guys that should be here to date us and marry us. They're going off to Thailand and Japan and Korea to go find chicks.
Yeah.
But how late is that? That's been going. I mean,
been
I know
forever.
they're late because it didn't matter to them because they were still young. Now it's
Older now they
well,
care.
I think that affects like certain demographics of women more so than others. Like if a chick is like 23, 24, she could give two flying fucks if you're going off. Yeah. But if she's like 32 or 33, then it's like, I can't believe. And the other thing, when it comes, I love passport bros. Don't get me started on passport bros. But the thing, it's such a love-hate relationship. But the thing is that passport bros are either too happy or they're too pissed off about being a passport bro.
Oh, he's right. There's no middle. There's no.
There's
average.
there's no in between, right? It's like, oh, that's the only way to go or they'll be like, yeah, women are really pissed off at us guys, our tribe. Yeah, yay team, we're passport bros. I'm like, yeah, well, who are you talking about? Are you talking about 35-year-old like women who are like spinsters who have been through like 1 or 2 divorces already? Or are you talking about the 23, 24-year-old hottie who is in Aruba because she had that trip paid by the 250,000, 500,000 members that she has on her OnlyFans? She could care less about you,
women
passport bro.
Before it was cool.
Yeah. And then of course when they say, well, then it's sour grapes. Well, I wouldn't go out with those whores and whores anyway.
Pointy elbows, 2 out of 10.
And it's like they're either too happy or they're too pissed off about it.
Right. Is that like more of an age thing? Sort of like is like the happy guys that are passport broing? Is that like the guys?
Don't they always tell you like don't bring them back, like because you bring them back then they turn into American women. Like they have magically overlay. You roll over one morning and you're like, oh, she's American.
Didn't Eddie Murphy have a joke about that? He's like, Eddie, I want half.
Yes.
Well, and see, there's real passport bro concerns too. I've been talking to a bunch of guys did passport bros. The things they don't tell you is you get caught in the bubble. Like, you can move to Thailand. The cost of living is cheap. But if you want to move back to the States, you're essentially starting fresh. You missed all of that real estate appreciation. Money is gone. So a lot of guys, they're kind of stuck there. So if you get to Thailand and you turn out you're not cut out for Thailand or Thailand's not cut out for you and you want to come back, you're now officially like a 35, 36-year-old homeless man.
So what's great
from scratch.
This conversation we're having right now, Megyn Kelly might have it with other people on television like 15 years from now. Yeah, they might be talking.
They might catch up to this.
Megyn, make out your royalty checks too.
Yes.
That would be an intangible.
What were we called? Tubbs and Crockett.
Crockett and Tubbs.
Crockett and Tubbs. Guess which one you are. Let me get these real quick. Rare Camellia says, welcome to America, Ryan. My 2 of my faves sitting there in their Hawaiian shirt.
Buddy
I
cops.
should have wore my Slayer shirt.
Somebody likes you. That's awesome.
I know. She edited my book.
Really?
There you go.
The book girl.
The Alpha AK. I'm adding for the $5.01 super chat. I'm adding the penny because I'd rather not have a cuck article thrown at me later. And we will. Andrew Tate's Romanian passport, who I haven't seen since the Fresh and Fit days. Thank you for participating. A mandatory career-ending heartfelt for Coach. Good-looking guys, but snarky as fuck. Okay, that's great. Wandering Warrior says, for a legitimate Gen X Cappy rant on the boomers, keep up the great work, gang. There you go.
I have a series.
You're gonna talk about the boomers? You want to get into that? Okay.
I have a series on my YouTube channel. It's under the
Dilla One says, I live in Switzerland and I study business law here. College is publicly funded and only like 800 CHF. I guess that's money in Swiss francs. Per semester. I don't think that's useless, Cappy.
What was his degree?
He's giving you the free health.
Business law.
Good for him.
Yeah, that's like
get a doctorate. I don't care.
That's subsidizing.
God, that's
subsidizing cost.
I mean, he's in a great country.
Yeah.
But that to become an accountant there, that I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
Nazi banker, sir.
Wow.
Wow.
I'll have
Mark
you know
that.
he's 25% offended right now.
25% offended.
25%.
Yes, you're 25%.
I'm not offended.
23%.
Somebody said go to Korea and get your asses kicked. Going to Korea right now would probably be the best place a passport bro could go.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's a free spot that's opened up for him. Did that guy just get beat up?
I mean, probably just don't be a skinny black guy. I mean, that's all you got.
Yeah. What, in Korea?
Yeah, Korea. Because Kyle, do you know the name of that guy?
Johnny Somali.
Johnny Somali. Yeah. He's like it's usually some skinny black kid guy that just goes off and like he started like touching, kind of like humping these comfort woman statues in Korea and stuff because the Japanese
sacred cultural artifacts.
Yes.
Yeah. They got some grievances.
Yeah, and just doing horrible stuff, and then because people are so polite there, he's fucking with people, and to like a crazy level, basically trying to get people to attack him, and then now the whole country's basically they're going after him and they want him in prison for life.
That's because when he was in Japan,
He deserves
did
it too.
that, and Japanese people are like polite to a fault. He
Yes.
forgets in Korea, every man has mandatory military service.
Yes.
So everybody's a veteran, and when they cross the line, they're like, no.
No.
Yep.
Andrew at Legal Mindset has done a good job covering all that.
God damn, he's great. I got to get him on the show, man. Oh, hey, Mike's on his way in. Yay. This is actually a good question here. What do you think of Texas Bill SB 942 about retroactive child support?
What the?
Retroactive?
Yeah, in the womb. In the womb.
Oh, okay.
So she's pregnant.
I meant retroactive. When you say retroactive, I think the kid's already born, and then suddenly he's the father over there.
No,
It's like it's. I know what it is though.
Yeah,
It's child support once the woman has like been inseminated.
Yes.
Right? Yeah,
That's
so
such a trad con thing. Like
What?
conception,
She's
child support
you owe,
begins
you
the
owe
moment of
some
conception.
because she was pregnant. You should have been supporting her since she's been pregnant the whole time.
So this presumes you're not married.
Yes, and everything. It's just like you just owe. You owe like 9 months,
And then
or
the
8 months.
religious right takes it too far.
Yeah, well, Aaron, I was like, you know how this is leading, right? To like cost per thrust. That's where this
Cost per thrust.
Well, no, yeah,
What are you,
like,
Terrence?
child
But I'm a
support
2-pump
after-
chump.
Yeah.
Child support and moment of conception are it's right there.
You
Cost per
Terrence probably has the numbers calculated on this.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah.
At this
Oh,
point,
Terrence
it's
Pop?
becoming
Yeah.
Terrence Pop.
Yeah.
8,000 per
prostitution.
pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you know what's funny is about this is this wasn't shocking to me because in Utah they were like toying with this. I don't think it got voted in, but in Utah they were toying with the idea of having, and I don't know if Texas is like this, but they were saying in Utah that they were going to do exactly the same thing. Where if the guy is the one who's the father, right? He's got to pay for all the gyno visits. He's got to, the prenatal stuff and everything else, the NICU, whatever it is, all that good stuff, which is everything you've gone through.
Yeah, I know.
But before, like, if that's the or whatever it is, but only under the condition that they have a blood test to make sure that the kid is
That's not gonna
is that one.
Mhm.
And that's why it got shot down,
Yeah,
because of that was added to that bill.
Ooh.
Yes.
I
don't know why
if they're
men
are they
working.
are they
Why
doing
are
that? Are they doing that in Texas? That's what I want to know. I wouldn't be able to give you an opinion on that unless it was dependent on whether or not that kid was necessarily the biological offspring of that guy.
Then that's where I'd be like, okay, maybe. But if bullshit's going to get passed on that, but this is why my opinion of Texas has been going down over time, because weird shit like that keeps passing over there, and it's not as cheap as Texas is not as cheap as it was 10 years ago. Right. As well as a lot of the counties where you live in, they can adjust how much you pay in property taxes. So there's places where like, oh, it's super. It's like, wow, this place is awesome. You live there, and then you get that property tax bill, and you're like, oh my god.
You guys, that's like a Canadian norm.
Yo,
I love how when you guys have some horrific stuff, it's like, oh, that was Canada 10 years ago.
So we're 10 years behind Canada. Okay.
All for the dystopia stuff.
Yeah.
A question for you.
Wait,
So I know-
Paul from Come On Man. it says the Manosphere hiking champion stopping by to grace the chat.
He did smoke all you guys. Yeah. You're number 2 though. Your competition was he's 4th place, but he never even went on a hike with me.
See how easy it is to place.
Yeah, you could.
I cannot believe I bust your balls so much.
One
when you have
below-
such kind things
One
to
below
say.
bronze is.
I
is
beat
what-
those Zoomers on the hike. You owe me.
That's why you got. You were the 2nd best actual hiker, overall ranked and on the category. Of
I
hiking
drank
ability.
water. Every
Doesn't count. That, if
self-improvement.
anything, that takes something.
8
down.
ounces of
It's
water
a
a day.
little 6-mile hike, which for you is like he kept inflating the kilometers. So it's like a 73-kilometer hike. Like no.
Ladies,
Sorry.
you're both pretty. It's okay. What were you gonna say?
I was going to ask because I know a lot of people, they do these laws knowing they won't pass,
Mhm.
but it's a way of appealing to their base. So was this a case of somebody going, I want the feminist vote or the single mom vote or whatever?
Well, it is
And
Texas.
they put this bill. So when, you know what, I tried my best for you, and they still remember him as like, he's on my side.
Oh, so they were trying to get it and they couldn't because.
But they knew it wouldn't pass, but it really like appeals to
Right.
their base. So is it like a
Right.
marketing law
So
or are they
it's
trying to
just
make it a real
it's
law?
just a Trojan horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I voted for Kamala, but just didn't.
Just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on your side. Oh man.
It was her turn.
Oh man. So like I getting back to that point where we're talking about like the psychologists and everything like that, you have to be that plus something else. You have to have like this. I was watching in the chat here, some people were talking about, rip Orion Taraban, and I'm like, well, Orion's actually a good example of doing it. I mean, as much as he rips my shit off, but like he's a good example of doing it. Like he's a legitimate, he has Dr. Ryan Taraban, right? And what does he do? He does his streams, he does everything else. He's out there doing
it's a long way from reading
interviews.
the rational male in his Twitter.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's just psychology. Like I've been picking on pastors not too long now. Like I just was looking at Joel Wobegon or whatever his name is. And he was popping off about Megyn Kelly because Megyn Kelly is like, everybody has to, pile on right now because Matt Walsh went after her, then Jedediah Bila went after her, and then I went after her, and then Joe went after her. I don't know who else is jumping in on that one, but it's funny to see how sort of conservative, traditional conservative feminists, for lack of a better term, are really sort of, they're all lining up on her side, and then everybody who's like sort of Matt Walsh side. And it's weird because I was looking at like the Twitter comments on Matt Walsh's stuff, and there had to have been at least half a dozen people saying you need to get Rollo on your show now, because whenever something like that comes out like that, they go talk to Rollo. Or who is it? Carl Benjamin has been talking about this over in the UK right now. Right. And he basically, it's like, I was like, this guy wouldn't give me the time of day last year. Right. And now it sounds like he's read all 5 of my books.
Really? Matt
like he's suddenly the preeminent expert on all of this. Like, when did that? I like Carl Benjamin.
Somebody said, hey, read these and you'll be able to talk about
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So people are like, why don't you get Rollo? Why haven't you had Rollo on the show?
Bro, that's what you need to do. We need to go viral one more time on vasectomy. I think that'll push us over the top this time. That'll push us over the top.
Bring up the F trophies. Trust me. Yeah, I'll put in a good word for you with Matt.
Oh God. Up next. Oh, Kyle Matovic, who it's Matovich. Am I saying it right? Yeah. Ryan Stone ranting about the Jews in a Tacoma with a
fake redneck tonneau cover bullshit.
There you go. Heartfelt for you. $5. Just heartfelt.
Oh, you son of a. All right, clear up the cuck article. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, Mike's going to come in here in just a minute. I know we're going to get into this topic, so we might as well start it off right now.
Introduce our guest over here.
Yeah, well, I'm about to.
I'm about to.
He was right there. No, I'm about to, because you're all the gentlemen sitting at this table right now, you're the only one that's single. And how old are you? Okay, so how difficult is it for you to date younger women? Not difficult. Do you think there's any merit to like women saying that, or I shouldn't say that, psychologists saying that men your age are just trying to relive their glory days?
Spinsters.
Uh-huh.
It's not glory days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday.
It's just Tuesday.
Could you just be wanting to have fun and enjoy life?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Man having fun? Oh no, that's got to be a psychological disorder.
Well, the reason I'm saying this is,
if it's a good woman that I want to hang out with, I'm going to hang out with her. She has to be fit. She has to have a great attitude. She has to be positive.
fit.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, it doesn't matter if she's 25 or 55.
Mm-hmm.
She has to be a good person. Right?
You're not like having some kind of psychotic episode where you need to, it's got to be 1987 again and you're Tom Selleck, or you just, I find it funny where they're saying like there's a problem. It's like, if you're a single guy, you want to go have fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to be around good people too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But why are you having fun when you're trying to make a lot of money? Shouldn't you already be tied down?
Wasn't this your first article? I can't remember the midlife crisis one.
Which one?
Midlife crisis. That was one of your
But
first,
that's what they
wasn't
want
it?
to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is exactly what you talked about. This is like one of the first things that I remember of his work he was talking about, where they say it's the midlife crisis. You're like, it's not. It's just a guy who's valuable doing things he likes.
Mm-hmm.
And then
They're saying
nobody can
Mike's
handle
dead.
it.
Shit. Yes.
Can you grab that one and push one over here? Yeah. Just push one down. Let's see.
You guys hear me? Guys? Test.
I just
There we
laugh.
go. Hopefully that works.
It's like you're like the Simpsons. Every time something happens, like, oh, he's got an article for that.
Yeah, it is true. Hey, what's up, man?
What's up?
Hey, Kyle, his mic was dead,
Mike's dead? Okay.
but not this one right here. It's the one that he was on.
Okay.
I
Kick
don't know
that
if
mic off the podcast.
Okay, now the audio's on. This one's good.
Frank Castle it.
You're good for now.
Yeah.
And we'll save that one for Mike when he decides to show. It's really low. They say it's really low though.
This one is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you bring that up a little bit?
Yeah, talk to him 1 sec.
mic check. 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
Cool.
I love the Tom
Palestine,
Selleck
Palestine.
reference, by the way, that was really good.
Yeah.
Slipped it in there. Zoomers
Well,
would be like, "What the hell is it?" Tom?
The reason, God, are we on that again? You guys in your fucking Hawaiian shirts too. We need a Ferrari for you.
You know, Magnum PI. He was in the Navy.
He was in the Navy.
He was in the Navy
Tom Selleck was in the Navy.
for Magnum PI. He was a
Oh yeah,
naval officer,
yeah,
retired,
of course.
and he was just a
Of course.
beach bumming. It wasn't even his Ferrari. He borrowed the Ferrari from his boss. Can you believe that?
Yeah, and the helicopter too.
Helicopter was TC's.
Oh yeah, that's right. God,
Yeah.
wasn't there? God, I can't believe you guys got me sidetracked. Wasn't there a show on TV one time called Vegas? It was like it was a cop show. It was like a detective show. No, it was just Vegas. It was like in the 80s, I think.
No.
That sounds familiar. It
was,
really does.
There was one just called. It was just called Vegas. I gotta look that up at some point. Well, anyways, sorry. God damn it.
What? I'm sitting here. What?
Tom Selleck. You got to take. a minute.
Yeah, I know. We gotta start any chance we get. Oh, let me get to these real quick here.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's Vegas with a dollar sign for the S.
Yeah, who starred in that?
It was Robert Urich.
Robert Urich.
Oh, wow.
Wow, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Why do I know that name?
Yeah, because he's an old school.
Was he
actor.
Airwolf?
Oh, okay.
No, I know who you're talking about though. That was somebody else.
Oh, that was a Dutch one.
An additional contribution for y'all, taking turns ranting about William Costello and his research on knowledge of incels. Oh, we're gonna get to that as soon as Mike shows up.
I'm waiting for the date psych stuff. I want real credibility before I engage.
God. Enjoy the collab with Joker, Cappy. They liked your collab with.
Oh, good.
with
Glad you
Joker.
liked it. Yeah.
Cheers, $10. Thank you. And what else do we have here? Chip and Dale took the red pill. Where's their winter claw? Their whiter whiter claws. Very funny. Oh, now we got Michael Sartain has decided to enter the building. Captain on deck.
I got a monster in there. If you want.
So casual, just grabbing a bottle of water.
You just grab it a lot. I know, like he's been here. I know where you've
I knew you were
been.
coming, Mike.
See, I know where he's been. That's why.
You guys can't see this. He's not wearing pants. He's in his underwear. Just
Oh, you had to grab the blue bottle. You had to grab the Saratoga.
He's eating a deli sandwich right now. It's crazy.
I know.
He's eating a deli. So now he just flew in here from who were you looking at? Was that that was Dead Mouse? Yeah.
Cool.
Oh boy, I know he's sending me pictures and video when we started. Saratoga water.
Saratoga water.
It's $50. I thought it was $50.
I could have saved you $495 for water, man. You need me as a business manager.
Yeah, scoot down a little bit so we can get you guys all in shot there.
Hey, I feel like a girl trying to get followers for my OnlyFans. I'm sitting
Yes.
bench here.
Yes. Okay, what's your body count?
Man of God.
Oh man. So I am thinking that a lot of the stuff that we're seeing right now coming out, like say Megyn Kelly and all that, I think a lot of that, like when she's talking about like men don't want to marry like boss babes, right? They don't want to marry the alpha female kind of thing. And I think we're just probably one step away from like it being about, his mic's not on either. Your mic's not on just yet.
Mine's not on?
Yeah,
Okay.
he'll put it on in a
Just
second.
left there.
Yeah.
There about 5 seconds ago.
But I think the next step is going to be like Megyn Kelly talking about like, oh, these guys ain't shit. That's going to be the next thing is you guys don't qualify or you guys aren't good enough for us kind of thing. Have you seen the Megyn Kelly thing?
No, which one is
The
it?
video that she was talking about?
No.
I can put it up. Let me grab that real quick.
You know what? I have a prediction for you though.
Okay.
You not subscribing to OnlyFans, girls will shame you now. I've already
Really?
seen a video. We're going to react to it on Wednesday. Women are starting to say, yo, this guy said he wasn't a simp and he wasn't a trick. And I'm like, why? Like that turns me off so much. Women are going to start classically conditioning men to shame them if they don't spend money or trick off money on women that they're not sleeping with. I predict that to come in the future, and I think it's going to go mainstream. I think it's something we're going to see.
So girls without OnlyFans accounts will shame men for not having.
I think all of them will be like, yeah, what's so wrong with you? Why are you so insecure, bro? Why don't you subscribe to our OnlyFans, bro? Like, I'm telling you, it's going to seem so weird when it's happening, and we're going to see it and we're going to call it out. But like, you're going to see this massive, the thing is like
the audacity of a girl calling
is my mic on yet? yeah. So the thing is, I wouldn't have believed it. It's just that I'm on both sides of this, and I know so many porn stars and content creators. All these girls on Sex Panther now. Well, Dead Mouse is not one of them, but yeah,
no,
yeah. But like all these people, these girls on this side of it, and then when I see the amount of money they make
Yeah.
Like girls that are like, attractive, but not that attractive, 300,000 a month. Right. Because they understand the marketing. And then I just see the individual guys, like a girl I know who's not famous at all, got 200 grand from one client. And when I see that, I'm just like, oh, this is more pervasive than I think we even understand, especially at the bottom end of this. And I think it's going to get worse. But we're going to react to this video on Wednesday, Rollo. And this girl is shaming men for saying that they're not simps. Do you understand that?
Really?
And I think it's going to start.
We're not calling out the simp.
Do you remember before I told you before, I was like, I think African-American and Hispanic men are going to vote for Donald Trump in droves. And the other prediction I made is that exogenous testosterone, they're going to start regulating it because it's making too many older men. It's putting them in really good shape. I think the next thing we're going to see is this sort of mainstream push to shame men for not shame men for shaming OnlyFans content creators, shame men for not tipping girls. It's like, why do you go to the strip club? You don't buy dances, like that kind of shit. You understand?
Wow.
Like
nonsense.
You don't. What do you mean? You on Instagram, you're looking at those pictures of those girls. Why don't you pay them? Are you some kind of creep? You're some kind of weirdo. They're going to shame
like
you.
Artist appreciation.
Yes, they're going to shame you
Yes.
for like,
Metallica crying
you're
about album
following the
sales.
girl on Instagram. You get to see her body for free. Why don't you give her money, you fucking pig? Like, I think that's what's coming next.
Yeah.
I truly think that's what's coming
That's
next.
funny. I wish we could do that for our books. How dare you pirate my book? You should be paying the author for that original material.
I can't get past some girl calling me bro.
How much?
So it's
The
going to be
horns,
Lars crying
whatever.
about Napster.
Huh?
How much of this do you think is, whether it's Megan Kelly, older men, how dare you, why are you growing up? Why are you Peter Pan when you're single and doing fun and hanging out and doing your own thing? Two, perhaps a more extreme example, why aren't you basically paying fealty or being a vassal to some
Exactly.
gal on the internet? How much do you think it is they don't consciously know it, but they've noticed a change in the air, and through herd mentality or even survivalist instincts, women are like, something's wrong, and we better start somehow circling the wagons or somehow locking, or get these guys. In other words, the slaves are about to leave the plantation.
Do you think it's do you think it's like age based, or it's because the
I
economy
think
got
That's what I
soft?
was going to say. too.
The behavior would determine, age would determine the behavior.
Okay.
Younger gals, because it's internet. Oh my God, why are you giving her money? Elder women, middle-aged women, like, why are you settling down? Like, I could imagine you in your dating escapades. They're probably almost like, well, hey, what about marriage and stuff? I gotta imagine they're a little bit more, as opposed to say a 30-year-old.
Well, I kind of let it be known what I want
right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't pay for OnlyFans. It comes for free. You can
So
pump
what
it
is
or
it?
what?
Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, well, it's setting expectations, right?
Yeah.
And being upfront with the person you're being with, so that they know where you want to go in the relationship.
Right.
I also think there's a way you present yourself. Like, if you go out in Las Vegas on a regular basis and prostitutes are coming up and like offering you, you're not dressing well enough. Your arms aren't big enough.
Yeah.
They're like, you just look like a motherfucker who pays for pussy. And like, there is
Tourist.
Let's go, you man. Let's go. We got one more night.
Didn't I not tell you he was
Ryan
gonna have
Stone.
3 good jokes in the night? That was that was
like
Was he trying to get rid of you half an hour ago?
I went to Sapphire and the other night, and I took Gabby and Kindly with me. So I
Yeah.
had these two gorgeous girls with me, and the girls avoided me like the plague because they were like, "Oh, this guy would never pay for it." Like, they immediately knew. And I think for the guys that they think would, those guys they're going to shame. And I think while they're shaming them, they're going to fuck the other guys on the DL. I think that's the way it
so the
works.
same thing as there is now.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, I just think it's going to become popular to shame them. Like, where it was like before, we're like, in order to the pejorative we would use for the man who gives an unequal amount of affection or attention to a woman when she doesn't give it back to him, we call him a simp.
Yeah.
Right? But what they're going to do is they're going to change that pejorative into something like, no, simp means you're emotionally available. Simp means that you're it's like, no,
They'll
these
try to-
guys who are like actually really
They'll try
vulnerable.
to take the teeth out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guys who are really vulnerable and the guys who like really have emotional intelligence, the other guys are just calling them simps, but you don't realize that those are the great guys that you blah 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 blah. It's like, keep subscribing to my OnlyFans.
Right.
$5 for the next 30 days.
Gambling
Yeah.
companies are fighting over every idiot dollar out there.
Well, it almost is just like a continue. I mean, it's always been an arms race. Perhaps with the internet, it's accelerated or it's taken on some obscure traits or acts or behaviors. But I don't think it's ever going to end. But I also think motivating it, I think there's I still insist that I think women sense there's something wrong,
Yeah.
and maybe the behavior is going to get a little bit more aggressive or erratic.
So do you think like they're like, where's the parachute guys?
Kinda.
Yeah.
I don't even think they have that crystallized of a thought.
Okay.
But I think they. You ever go outside? You're like, boy, it's not windy, but you're like, boy, there's a storm coming, or something
Right,
like that. I mean,
right.
it's like
Oh, your
The
knee
calm,
starts bothering
the
you.
calm,
Your
yeah.
Must be
lumbago
raining.
kicks in.
something is wrong. The men are not behaving like they used to, and that might just be a cash grab in
Yeah.
that case. But it's a sign, more and more increased signs of desperation and shaming and all that.
Right.
So I'm
Nah.
curious to
'Cause-
see how it will evolve.
because
over time.
you guys, like all the content that you guys have done, right, has like it's sort of like the content you guys, because you guys are, I think, all extras, right? Yeah, you guys are all extras. The content you guys did was really consumed by a lot of like, I would say middle to younger millennials,
Mhm.
and then those were like the older brothers, and now like guys Kyle's age, which are, you know, Zoomers, have internalized that, and so it's like you guys making this content has gone off to like, it's on the third generation now. So a lot of like younger guys are like now saying that, because I don't know if it's Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate getting more bigger or whatever, but like you have every 22, 23-year-old on Instagram and Telegram or on TikTok talking about don't simp, don't do this, don't fuck this, you know, the manosphere, right? But because at least from what I've been hearing from your guys' conversations, it's mostly older women that are starting to do all this stuff, and the mainstream older women,
Because they want something.
because they want something, right?
I think that's why I'm saying I don't
Mhm.
think it's a learning or not learning or long term. I think it's just flocking behavior.
Mm,
Like, you know how birds, they'll
Yeah, yeah,
automatically form these very complex flocking behaviors. It's because they have a very simple DNA hardwiring, and it just so happens when you get it up there, that's the emergent property. I think that's what this is. If this, like, I know if they're doing it in Vegas, probably. Are they doing it in Wisconsin? I don't know. But girls know, like, I will be 35 one day in their lizard brain, so better act in a way that helps them, and they're acting in a way that helps the young girl. So it's like that sisterhood Uber Alice thing.
Mhm.
right.
I think some of them. I think you're right. I think
Yeah.
some of them there is like the delusion. Actually, I was reading the delusion or the self-esteem. Okay, this is end of the evolutionary psychology textbook. At the very near the end, they go over self-esteem in men and women.
Mhm.
Women rank men who have higher self-esteem to be more attractive. Men rank women who have higher self-esteem to be of the same level of attractiveness, meaning it doesn't have any effect
Yeah.
whatsoever
Mm.
on the way women.
Love the
are. So-
confidence in that barista.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so what I think will happen, there's another thing. It's like, as women get older, their expectations that were unreasonable become more unreasonable. Does that make sense? And like, so I think that is, for some of them, they get older and it really is like, oh, now I've put this all together and now I deserve my superior man. And it's like,
Dude,
no,
you-
you passed him off.
This is 2010 Royce right here. This
Yeah.
is classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had that dating by age categories.
yeah.
He said like 18-year-olds were really easy. The second easiest category was like 30 to 35-year-old women. But the hardest one was like the 27 years, the ones that have like hit the wall, because they're the highest expectations because they most want to.
God, I
settle
could
down.
dig
down.
that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Difficulty of gaming women?
But it
by
was the one,
age?
yeah, but it was, and
Yeah.
I guess that you got to move
Use,
it over now.
use perplexity. It'll give you the whole.
I know exactly
But,
where
but
it
aren't
is.
they
Yeah.
peak delusion, because they're like, I'm still young enough, I can still.
No, the ones that are literally at that 10-yard line, those are
Oh,
the peak,
okay,
the
right.
peak status. It's the ones that just age out of it, where they're like, all right, I gave it a good shot. He goes, those are the most pleasant ones, but they'll probably cry a little bit in the morning.
Oh,
You've got to
okay.
put up with
I'll
that.
tell you what also changes it is, you know, Rollo and I will have girls on here who are in their 30s and look fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
are ripped.
Yeah.
Shit, we got girls in our 40s.
Yeah,
Dude, you put them right next to this guy, and he
Yeah.
blew him off talking about
But,
economics.
but you remember, like the girl who was sitting across from me?
Yeah, but they were
Like, what I'm
insufferable.
talking about, she's 42 years old.
Yeah, they're exceptions.
Looks incredible. And so, but the issue is, what's that doing is, though, it's almost like leading a bad example, because most girls don't have her genetics. That girl has like 2 kids. That most girls don't have her genetics, and so they think, I'm going to do this. It's when the Jennifer Aniston waits till she's 50 to freeze her eggs and blah blah blah. Then they think, well, I can do the same thing, and it's like, no, that's the exception. That girl's a published Playboy model, and like she happens to look really good at 42 because
You
she
were
does
yelling at a Playboy model?
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
What is wrong with you? Why can't you be pleasant?
Nothing.
Thank
Yes.
you for
It's
your
like
time.
Playboy went bankrupt.
I know.
Tells guys how to be better men and talks to a girl. No charm, just anger.
Well, what would this be different behavior from what we're seeing, or just the behavior under a different lens, different generation, different technology?
You mean as far as the
Well, Megyn Kelly
No.
coming out and oh my God,
Do we have the clip?
No, I'm digging it out right now. I got to get it off of Matt Walsh. No, sorry. I know that's where I saw it originally. No, but I mean, she's just basically saying the same thing that we've been hearing for forever, which is, how dare these guys not say they want a woman who's like I think it was Matt Walsh or somebody said we're looking for a woman with a quiet spirit and they want her to be your peace. We've heard this a million times in the Manosphere. We want a woman who's going to be your peace when you come home from
Submissive.
Yeah, exactly. Well, submissive, but also like I think the problem is that when a man tells a woman either directly or indirectly how she ought to be, suddenly we're in the handmaiden's tale. Now everything's, my God, you want us to have babies that aren't ours? It's like, no, that's not what I'm saying whatsoever. I'm saying all of this started with Andrew Wilson on Piers Morgan and basically schooling Tommy Lahren, which I thought was delicious. But the whole thing about like, well, you want all this stuff, you want men to qualify to you and have all of these, this laundry list of prerequisites before they're acceptable, and then you'll decide whether or not you want to be submissive, and then you'll decide whether or not, rather than the guy has to go his entire life prepping himself so that he can get with a woman who might want to become somebody else magically because he goes, here's the ring, I'm now elite level guy. And that's why that was an argument that me and Dalrock have been making ever since 2014, which is marriage is only for elite men. It's not for the average dude. It's only for the most elite guys because we have this standard now where a guy's got to make a lot. He's got to have his money together. He's got to have his education. He's got to be stronger, taller, faster. All those things. Yeah. All the laundry list of expectations, right? Before she'll consider deferring to his authority, before he's got to make at least what she makes and half again, if not more, before she'll go, okay, now I might consider marrying you. But it all is born out of this innate distrust of men. And when you hear Megyn Kelly talk about this, it's just from a traditional conservative woman feminist's perspective. And so and I think Megyn Kelly was actually probably responding like indirectly to the conversation that was going on between Andrew Wilson and Tommy Lahren, because the first thing Andrew says was, what's in it for us? Like what basically he was saying, what do you bring to the table? Which you'll hear on whatever podcast all the time. But the thing is he was just basically, he made one question and she's like, you're a misogynist. Like she instantly defaults to emotionalist language. Who hurt you? Have you ever been in love before? Are your parents still together? And it's like completely off topic, but it's on topic to her because when women don't I shouldn't say just women, but even men, when they don't have a rational, comeback, when they don't have a coherent counter argument to something that is unflattering to women, that's when they default to emotionalism. That's when they default to emotionalist language.
Isn't it crazy how they still go on these shows, bigger and bigger shows? You saw Andrew Wilson was just arguing with like 4 women at the same time on Piers Morgan. And it's like, you guys have the power of the internet, and Andrew is like using the Bible and he's destroying you. And I don't understand. I've never understood why women after all these years will still go on whatever podcast, Fresh and Fit, No Fugazi, Access Vegas, whatever, and they will have no data to support a fucking thing that they're saying. When ChatGPT is free, you can use deep research for free.
It's madness. These softball, the answer to that.
Of course, I know the answer, but
it's
it's
very
like,
cute 23-year-old who has said no in her entire life.
Mike, I'm trying to get my OnlyFans bigger.
Yeah, so crazy. Like
she's walked around.
The one time I've seen it happen was Jasmine. Jasmine, legit. Regardless of what you think of her interpretations, she put a lot of work into her argument, right? And she did so, and it just pissed a bunch of people off. But I'm like, it was just Jasmine. No one else. Maybe Farhad did it a little bit, but like no one else has even attempted to do this. And then I watch, like, it's almost disappointing because I would have actually liked to have seen Tommy Lahren and Andrew Wilson have a discussion. But like, she is like, oh, you're right, I can't answer your question. Therefore, you're a bigot. Therefore, you're a misogynist, right? If I really hate LBGT people and I say, what is a woman? If there's some vitriol behind it, I can understand. But if I just ask the question, what is a woman? And then your response is, you're a bigot. I was like, well, no, I just asked the question. Like, this isn't even like stepping over the bounds of anything.
What is a bigot?
Huh? A bigot. We can look up the exact. We can look up the exact words, but you can throw misogyny into bigotry or racism into bigotry.
I just flip it back. Well, what is this?
Yeah.
You're an asshole. What is an asshole?
Yeah.
But what I mean, if So no progress has been made. Like we're talking.
I think there's progress.
You think there's progress?
Okay, so let me. This is the hardest. This is like the ultimate thing. If people understood this one concept, all these debates would go away. Just one concept. There's just two species of men. If you could just grasp that concept, there's a lower status species of men who chase women, and there is women who chase the higher status species of men. If you just understand that concept, then it's like men cheat. No, the men you're trying to fuck cheat. Okay, right. Most men are what would like, they have no options to cheat. It's like, oh, these men are trash. No, the men you're attracted to are trash. And then when women act like this, it's like, no, they act like this when you're a low status man. They don't act like this when you're a high status man. When they're a high status man, like I have some guys, they have one girl that they're dating who gives them a bunch of shit and is constantly challenging them. And then I have other guys who are dating 6 women at the same time, and they all just fall in line. There's no arguments from any of them. And it's just so crazy to me. It's like, oh, I understand. If I'm a high status man, then everyone's nice to me. It's just like I have some friends who are very, very famous, and I'll hang out with them, and I just watch the way the world reacts to them. Like everything opens up for them because they have so much abundance. And I see the same thing. It's like, when men understand the concept of abundance and they're high status, then all of those traits go to them. So when you say, have we gotten anywhere? If you're a high status man, yes, it's never been easier.
For a man, right. The men have
Yes.
made progress, tremendous
Yes.
progress. What I'm saying is we got, how old's Megyn Kelly? 52? No, seriously.
Yeah, she might be in her
Tommy
50s,
Lauren ain't
actually.
going
Now I
nowhere.
think
She's
about it.
definitely got to be in her 30s. And here we are having conversations, not us. I'm talking, here they are on Pierce Morgan, whatever other show. What my point is, there's no progress upon the part of women, especially as they get older, even on the conservative side, which you would assume are more empirical, at least politically,
Yeah.
or more intellectualized, and yet they still can't do it. And so what I'm thinking is the progress is all progress in action, I'm going to have to say, is going to be on the part of men, because
Right.
it seems to that we're the only ones that have agency. And so
Mhm.
there is progress and, okay, self-reflection. But my point with this is if conservative, traditional, quote, political, sociological women, you just want get an emotional reaction, then what hope is it for the younger girls at 23, 24 which does not surprise me.
What hope is it there for younger girls when 8% of women between the ages of 21 and 30 are on OnlyFans?
Yes.
Are on, it's like 1 out of 16 women right now if you are anywhere in a large metropolitan area and you see an attractive woman, the chances are about 1 in 6, and I'm not exaggerating this, maybe 1 in 5, that she is on OnlyFans.
1 and 2 in Las Vegas,
It
by
is
the way.
massive. Well, for those of you who don't understand, there are about 22 million women in the country between 21 and 30, and there are 1.4 million women on OnlyFans in the United States.
For perspective, 1 out of 20 women are diagnosed BPD.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed is like, yes, 1 in 16. I'm wondering if there's a correlation there. So
Sure. Yeah,
like in the
outside of
previous
standard
days, you would have been
deviations,
dating a BPD girl. It's just that BPD girl now happens to also have an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like you would have been screwed then. It's just now you're screwed, and she's got an OnlyFans.
So
But at least she's self-identified now.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
she makes money, so I mean that's good. It's better. BPD chicks used to be broke.
Mhm.
Just saying.
I'm just saying she's self-identified.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I have the video.
Okay.
You got me, Kyle? Okay.
Happening on the right. Young women, I talk to young conservative women all the
We're an
time
extension.
about their lives and their goals and the things that they want. And what's happening is they can't find men who are maybe more conservative. Usually they're looking for somebody who is religious, like a lot of conservative women tend to be God loving conservatives. And they can't find a lot of young men who want to marry a working woman now. And this is an actual problem that's coming up on the right. And to me, it's so sad because it's like, how did we get to the point where we're now telling young, conservative, amazing women that they're not attractive if they also work, if they choose to, let's say, do what I'm doing and what you're doing and like get their voice out there. But I'll stick with me just because I think conservatives listening to this will like the thought of another Megyn Kelly voice up and coming. Well, why wouldn't we want that? Why would we take somebody who's talented in this field and really wants to make a difference and have the messaging to her be, you're really not that valuable unless you give it up and go into the home and only have a family and only raise a family. And not only are we sending her that message, but young men are actually believing that. They're actually believing it, especially on the right, because like the trad mom has gotten so popular. And it's like, no, if we do that, we're not going to have any strong conservative or right-leaning women to provide a role model for younger conservative women who, and there's nothing to apologize for here, don't necessarily want to spend all their 20s and their 30s getting married and having kids, or can't. They just weren't able to meet somebody, and definitely don't need to be shamed over it.
This is really interesting. 'Cause, I mean, obviously, you're right. She's talking her book. This
Well,
would,
I
this,
was going to say
this would have a
it's
lot
all
more-
about her.
yeah, this would have a lot more credence if it wasn't coming from her. Meaning, like an older woman who works talking about men not being attracted to older women who works. It should come from someone else. I understand what she's saying. And throughout her whole, you'd say this about Jedediah Bila too. Throughout her whole career, I think Megyn Kelly's done more good than bad. I definitely, I appreciate her as a conservative content creator. But like you said before, it's like in this one part, she may have a blind spot. It's not that we're being taught. We're not being taught shit. If these people could understand, because this is why this fundamental misappreciation of evolutionary psychology. We're not being taught that masculine women are unattractive.
Not social
They just
constructionism.
aren't attractive.
Yeah.
We aren't being taught that
sir.
we aren't being taught that overweight women are unattractive. It's genetics that have caused it. Our genetics say, or genetics, which are this unbroken chain, this blockchain of DNA that goes back 200,000 years, is saying when I try to procreate with the obese woman, the baby does not come out healthy and the child is not healthy. That's what happens. We see that the woman with the asymmetrical face or the bad skin or whatever, these are things that are genetic. So this idea that and by the way, they keep talking about women working. It's not women working. It's women who are masculine. That is the issue that we have. And so me not being attracted to a woman that's masculine is not a cultural construct. It just isn't attractive. It's just not one of these things. Like I have my boys for that. I don't need to get into a dick measuring contest with my girl, right? Unless I'm in San Francisco, then you legitimately
No,
you have to do that.
The Castro
Nobody clip that.
and there's the clip. No, I was going to say is like we get into this conversation all the time when I'm talking about how there is no such thing as an alpha female, right? Because the definition that women have of alpha is through a male, a masculine framework. So when a woman says she's an alpha female, she says, I have my own business. She's Megyn Kelly, right? She has all this stuff going for her that would be attractive characteristics for a man, right? But not for a woman. Because men generally, unless they're homosexual, aren't looking to marry another man. Okay. Well, I don't know about you, but
Wow, really? Boy.
anyways, no, but the thing is like when I'm trying to explain this to women, it's like it goes right over their head. But the thing is like an alpha female in like really in evolutionary terms is the hot girl in the Wet Republic in a thong or something like that with big boobs and everything. That's because she outdoes all her competition. Yes. So from a female specific evolved definition, the hot girl in the bikini is the alpha female, whereas
Thin,
Megyn Kelly, thin, young, pleasant.
But I want you to consider Megyn Kelly at 23. She's attractive now. She was attractive at 23. Would have not had this opinion.
Oh yeah,
That's the other part.
Because she's riding on her achievements, which is a male characteristic.
When we talk about conservatism does favor the status quo. What is the status quo? Wealthy men get pretty wives and really attractive women get all the favors. So those groups of women, I have yet, if you guys can find me one single attractive woman with a boob job who owns a gun and has blonde hair and isn't a Trump supporter. Find one.
Jamie Villamore.
I thought that's the
Jamie
starter.
Villamore. No, you are incorrect, sir. I can't find a single one. And why? Because those women get the favors in the world. And anyone who wants to protect the status quo through conservatism, they're going to be in favor of. And so that's why I just think that whole concept is interesting. But when we go back to what she's saying before, it's this misinterpretation. It is not conditioning that causes us to feel this way. But it is natural.
And that's going back to our original question. Our jobs aren't going away. Like this is a very traditional conservative. And Megyn Kelly, she's talking about conservative. They still can. I would say, just as we are genetically impossible to find a fat woman attractive.
Yes.
It seems to me it's genetically impossible for women to be empirical almost at this point. And so an empirical source of news, information, and discussion has to be there, especially as it pertains to the sexes. And so like, we're not going to get we're not going to get Tommy Lauren. We're not going to get Lauren Simon. They're all teams, the sisterhood, Uber Alice.
Right.
And so this type of conversation, and our jobs and our kind of like not sought out, but kind of accidentally given to us roles as journalists,
divisional
empiricists, philosophers, expanding to psychologists.
Stop! I can only get so erect. Kings of men.
Well,
Pinnacle of
I was about to say,
man.
repeal the 19th.
no, it's not that. This is where the real conversations and the real news for anyone who is empirical
Right.
and wants it is going to happen. That it's Oprah, just a skinny white chick this time.
Well, I think a lot of, I mean, I see Rachel Wilson in the chat right now too, but she was just coming at this because Andrew Wilson was on Piers Morgan talking to some nameless fat feminists again.
Yeah.
I love the donut comment, by the way. I thought that was genius. But anyways, the thing is he's just making the same case that he made with Tommy Lahren. He's just saying, like, here is my premise. Give me a counter argument. And none of them had a counter argument. Because I would, like Mike was saying, I don't think many of them have even thought of it. It's something they have some sort of insight.
It's not the reason why, like, whenever I go on someone's show to debate them, the reason why they always get caught off guard is because they can never consider that their position could be wrong. Even though I know I'm right. Like when you and I went to go see,
they couldn't steel man your argument.
When you and I went in Miami and we were talking to Destiny and Sneeko, I started from the premise that everything I believed was incorrect. Everything I believed was incorrect. I started from there and then worked my way backwards to the fundamentals of what I believed, which is why that caught them off guard so much. Right. I don't go in there guns a-blazing and I'm right because I feel like I'm right. I actually had data to support while I'm right. And the problem is, like, again, the one stat, which was it? Like one of the stats about men who bully more have more sexual partners, stuff like that make people feel very uncomfortable. Some of these statistics, whenever people hear them, the problem is, I'll give you an example. Project Pat had this one saying, "Don't save
Project
them."
Pat?
He goes, "You can't turn a hoe into a housewife." That actually came from a song by Project Pat like 20 years ago. Can't turn a hoe into a housewife. And now I look at the GSS survey, and what does it show? Women who have more sexual partners before they're married are more likely to cheat. Right? The women who cheated had 230% more sexual partners. Right. So now I have data to support Project Pat saying you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Yeah. Yep. Now this is dangerous because now you're not even attacking me anymore. You're attacking this data. And so it makes you feel very uncomfortable. Project and so we just can't, I would love to actually have a discussion about it, but we can't because as soon as I go there, they get very offended. Yeah. And they can't push
because what people call debate today is not debate anymore. It's just basically personal attacks, and it's
flip farming.
Are you a bad guy or a good guy? Do you believe in what I believe in, or do you not believe? It's not like sitting on the Congress floor and having like an allotted 7 minutes to make your case and do any kind of like.
So do you think they're even trying to do good at all, or they're just trying to get rich and famous?
Rich and famous.
Well, I mean, for 90% of most people, I mean, there's probably some good actors, I think, still. They're few and far between, and when you find them, like, bookmark them and follow them. But I think especially in the influencer age right now, red meat sells. There's just not getting around.
I wouldn't even go so far. I don't think they're capable of an empirical argument. I don't even know what empirical means. Like you if we're gonna have a discussion on what, like we had our debate, is a version, what was it?
Tax aversion or tax abatement.
Tax abatement, right? Which one is legal? You looked it up. You proved me wrong. Yeah. And I say, you're freaking Adolf from Austria with the funny mustache. Because
that's where Sartain did. This is why he did so good. Because Destiny's kind of known for getting his audience to read Wikipedia articles and give the answers back
and send it to them.
But what I mean is, like, Wikipedia has a very specific
that was his
thing.
AI.
Yeah, that was a very specific thing. He appeals to authority for everything. So when you come with stats, it's not so much your stats are right. Is that you're saying, okay, well, the authority says this. So now he either has to be hypocritical, and now all of a sudden he doesn't like authority, which invalidates everything else because everybody likes him as the authority guy. So that's why he has to devolve to calling you names, because he beat him on his own turf.
And to be fair, he never did. He never called me names. But the thing is, in that specific case, there was the discussion about if a man just goes out more, he'll have more sex. And he's not wrong. That's a correct. This was the argument. But the problem was
the PUAs were right.
The problem was the overweight guy who lives in Mississippi might have a 5 body count in a year, and the M&A attorney who lives in Manhattan may have a 5 body count in a year. It's just the difference is the guy who lives in Mississippi, they're overweight and toothless, and the guy who lives in Manhattan, they're 5'11" in Ukraine.
Well, yes,
that's the difference. Like, and so my argument was, yes, but what if I want an attractive woman who's not overweight? In that case, there are certain attributes that lead to hypergamy. And so that was the point of the whole discussion. Yeah, of course you can, if I had no standards, could you imagine how many women we could all have sex with if we had no standards?
No.
Of course, but I have standards. And so that's the difference. And so that little piece of context. So what the thing is,
but you put in the effort for work,
correct,
so that
correct,
you can have
correct.
that kind of standard.
Have you ever argued with the woman and them getting mad at you having like, why do men have standards?
Like maybe not
That
specifically.
was
That's
Tommy
what-
Laren's
do you-
point, actually.
Do you remember that one feminist I did a debate with?
How dare you have standards?
From Arizona, from Atlanta, and she started going off and off. And like this has happened before. This has happened with Lover, Jamie Lynn. This has happened with that. I can't remember what that one feminist is. And this has happened with Jen Rufo. They come on the show, and I explain to them like in the nicest way possible. I'm like, I understand you think you're going to win this argument, but you need, when you see the comments, like don't take it personal, because no one is going to agree with you. No one is going, like you are going to get absolutely eviscerated. Don't take it personal when this happens. And in all three cases, Jamie, she took my face off the interview she did with me.
Wow.
The other girl, the feminist, she took the video down because it was like over 1,000 comments. Just
They
going
think
after her.
wrestling's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Andrew Wilson even messaged her. Me is like, I want to debate that girl now. And then in this case with Jen Rufo, like she asked me to take all of the clips down because she's saying that, you know what, men should be more open-minded to watch their wives get fucked by other men. And I was like, Jen,
what?
Jen, you can say
Oh,
that
wow.
if you want. Do you guys remember the story about the New Jersey Nets? I'm sorry, the Brooklyn Nets dancer who slept with some of the players?
No,
You guys could like Google it. It's that girl came on my show. And so we're having this discussion, and she's just like open sexuality, all this kind of stuff. And it's really weird because she wasn't bi. She like wouldn't have a threesome with like two girls. It was a really weird conversation. But when I was having this discussion with her, I was like, you are fully within your rights to believe what you want. And you searching for men who will allow, other men to have sex with you in front of you. If that's what you want to do, I have no doubt that you'll find
Wish you
them.
luck, man.
You'll find them. I go to a Harris rally. You'll find tons of men like this. It's not going to be difficult. But
Nobody's at a Harris rally.
my point is, you guys see, what was that thing? Michelle Obama's podcast. Some of the clips are getting 5,000 views. Have you seen this?
Yeah,
crazy.
Oh my God.
So,
Big Mike. Yeah,
so
Big Mike.
it's but when but the thing is, when I try to explain to her, is like, your belief is that 95% of men would agree with you if they were just open-minded, and it's because you still have this belief that our beliefs come from culture.
Yes.
They just
Right.
don't come from culture. I like to eat barbecue because sugar, salt, and fat tastes good.
Yep.
It's not because of culture.
Yes.
That's what, you know what I'm saying? I like big boobs and a nice butt and a skinny waist, but it's not because of culture.
And she
You were
responds to
taught
Tommy
this.
Valley.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's
exactly.
exactly what she was talking about. It's like that was the premise of her entire, video right there. It's social constructionism.
Yep.
And until we can get rid of social constructionism, egalitarianism, emotionalism, and well, that's part of it. And then
Goddamn Democrat.
and we could get rid of the
Go
blank
on.
slate.
I don't.
Those are the four pillars of left leaning
But,
thinking.
she's not left leaning. I think.
No, but the fact that
I
she's
mean,
that's what she's relying on.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
at least one pillar that she's relying.
I think it's very similar. Do you remember the Sadia Khan clip where she was like, these men who date multiple women and their women allow this to happen? No, those women are all sleeping with other men.
Yeah.
You and I know for a fact that isn't fucking true. I know a ton of dudes who have 3 or 4 girls locked up and they're not talking to any other women. But Sadia Khan has to say that because I guarantee you at some point while she's traveling the world, her partner says, honey, like, you're barely ever here. Is it cool if I have a pass and go fuck some other women? And she's like, no, that's not okay. She's talking her book.
Yeah.
Because now she has to make a clip to make it seem like, no, I have the right. I'm going to go sleep with other men if you're going to go do this, blah, 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 whatever. And the reality is, you and I'm not going to say their names because I want to call it their business. I know married dudes, they bring women home together. Their wife does not cheat on them. And this happens. It's more common than not where you see this happening. I'm not saying it doesn't happen sometimes, but the point is she was talking her book. This is what's going on with, and by the way, for those of you who don't know what that means, it's a financial term. It's when you own a stock and then you have a stock in your book.
Mhm.
You talk to everybody about how great this company is. You're talking your book.
You're pumping your stock.
Yeah. Right. You're pumping your stock. Exactly. So in this case, the case with Megyn Kelly is also talking her book. I'm an older working woman. I need to stand up for older working women. Sadia
Right.
Khan is like, my partner wants to sleep with other women. I need to shame the
Back it up.
idea of doing that.
Mhm.
And so I'm talking my book. And my thing is, this point might make some sense if it wasn't coming from her.
Yeah.
Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah.
It's almost like more people need to respect Texas Longhorn fans. And coming from me probably doesn't have as much validity
Yes.
because
Everyone should love Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
But
I don't have to sell that.
where's the line on talking your book? Because we all do it to some extent.
for sure.
Right.
I'm saying she has the right to say this,
Right.
but it would have more credibility if it was coming from somewhere else. But the problem is where she loses me is when she acts like this is socially constructed.
Is it because she's clearly high status, or is like if she was like a person who's had no other options and that is her life, versus her where she may have an escape hatch somewhere?
I would love to have a discussion with her and ask her straight up, like, do you think, Megan, that your position in life may actually affect your opinion when it comes to this? Clearly the answer is yes, but I want to see if she has enough self-awareness to recognize that. It doesn't even mean she's wrong. I think she's wrong, but it doesn't mean she's wrong because she's talking in her book, but just be open to it. Like, I understand certain things.
Right.
Like, dude, if a girl is has left her boyfriend and we're sleeping together and she's like thinking about getting back with him, whatever, like me telling her your boyfriend's a piece of shit, it's like it's super biased. You understand?
Right.
Like, let her family do that. It's like not my job to be a hater. Let someone else do that. It's super biased coming from me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's like, so that's the only thing I would say about that. But I don't think she's even being nefarious. I think legitimately.
No, she believes it.
She believes it. I think she
Welcome
has
to
a
2010 Red Pill.
Yeah, that's
Claire
what
was talking
we have
about
had this
Ryan, stop talking
conversation
about it.
so many
Well,
times.
yeah. Well, here's like genetically how like the evil psych guys have been referring to it. There's a arms race between girls lie to get guys to do what they want, and then guys learn to detect deception. So the current iteration of that is girls convince themselves. So there's no tells. It's like it's not a lie if you believe it, Jerry. So yeah, Megan absolutely believes
Yeah,
it.
of
She's
course she
hyped
does.
herself into believing it. So when you see it, she's convincing and she's
She'd
confident.
pass a lie
But
detector
by the way,
test.
if you have kids with her and you're married to her, you better believe it too.
Yeah.
Or else, for your relationship to stay in one piece.
Yeah.
So
everybody's motivated to buy it. And then
Correct.
if you believe, the better you are at lying to yourself, the better you are at lying to other people. Because I don't see any. He looks like he's honest.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. So yeah, you will ask all these questions. She will swear up and down by 5 different Bibles. No, it's the way it is.
One of the other things that like Jedediah Bila did a take on this, and one of the other things is and Jed approaches this from like the fertility crisis thing.
Yeah.
It's like if everybody was like just like Megyn Kelly, we would have no babies because because her whole take, and I'm not saying she's wrong, but and this is maybe just her angle because she's a mother herself. But one of the things she's saying is like, most men don't want to get with a Megyn Kelly because they want to have the woman home as a mother to their children and not have them raised by childcare or whatever. And I think there's some legitimacy to that. But honestly, I think that the whole thing with the social constructionism is one. And the other thing is I don't know if anybody has touched on this yet, but there are only so many Megyn Kellys and so many Jedediah Bilas that can be out there. So that's why when Megyn Kelly makes it all about herself, I'm like, yeah, but what about the bajillion other women who would love to be like, wifed up and have babies and do exactly the opposite of what we can't just have this nation of Megyn Kellys.
Yeah. For me to want my mother around my children to help raise my children is not selfishness. No, or if it is selfishness, it is selfishness in service of my children.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
which is honorable.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, we can agree to disagree. In this situation, she's not wrong. She's just mostly wrong. That's most of the time. Because that's the thing. Because I don't want to say she's lying. Because
mostly dead.
There are women who make a lot of money who can get married and be happy. I'm not saying that's impossible. So I'm not saying she's wrong. She's just statistically, if you make more money than your partner, you're going to leave your partner. That's just the way it works. And when women make a lot of money, they want men who make even more money than them.
Yeah, I don't think she's never even thought about
cultural
that.
construct.
I mean, women want a man that they can look up to. They can't look up to somebody who is their equal.
So do you think women get mad that in the social order?
Yes.
Yes. Do you think like what they're trying to get around this and stuff is like in the social order, the highest thing in society is children. In terms of like you're supposed to take care of that, like they're both 50% man and woman.
I would say for the
around
vast majority of the mass population, yes.
Yes, right. And they're trying to figure out a way to get away from having responsibility for that in a weird way.
Wait, run this past us again.
Like so in the social order, right? Children are the highest thing, like the holiest of holies
among women
and men.
Okay.
Like it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be, right?
I'm going.
You said we were supposed to be. You're talking about a traditional conservative viewpoint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not today necessarily.
Not today necessarily.
Okay. All right, continue on.
Right. And so what I was just trying to say is that since that's supposed to be the highest, right? Like they're trying to figure out a way where like, no, I'm supposed to be a working high class woman and stuff like this. And it's okay. The man should take care of the kids, or it's okay for me not to have kids, and we shouldn't be ashamed. But I should have a partner that doesn't want me to have kids, right? That's all I'm trying to say. Like
you're saying they're trying to turn their necessity into a virtue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And putting it over like, the society's need for children.
Oh yeah, dude. If it's the same thing, talk in your book. What I'm doing right now is exactly what the perfect thing to do is, and you all need to do it, and you need to rally behind me because I need to be the king of it. course.
Well, the
course.
interesting thing is she started talking about being Christian, right?
Oh,
Christian,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But she backed off of it because the Christian church
Dude,
teaches
the way- yeah,
women
the way
to
she
stay
talked
home,
about it, it's like she
right?
saw
It
the
doesn't
word in
teach
the
them to
book.
go out and work. They stay home and they support the family and the man,
Mhm.
and they're subservient from the Christian point of view.
The hypocrisies you point out as well as like it's not genetics. I think it's starting to show and expose how these people are untethered from the real world or have absolutely no intellectual honesty to like, yeah, I'm going to be empirical. I think it's incredibly actually selfish is what they want. It's equal protection. I want to get the rich guy without having to hit the gym. And I think, how long have we been doing this? 20 years now through writing or,
I have.
and we,
Mhm.
well, right. But
Mhm.
I think young men, especially, are starting to realize look at all these old timers banging their heads against the wall. Look at now we got conservative women, and they'll still talk, frankly, bullshit
Mhm.
and stuff that isn't real, and advocate. Well, we still need a girl, but I think what people really have to worry about more is okay, we've made no progress. No one is being convinced. This has been a waste of time. And I think a lot of guys are disengaging and saying this
And
is
that's the
futile.
conversation that's going on right
Yeah,
now,
and
especially after like something like adolescence, right? Like that's bringing all of this up to sort of a head right now, and everybody wants to talk. Pierce Morgan want to talk about it. A lot of other people want to talk about it too. But the thing is like now we're starting to have this conversation, and who do they focus on? You know, it's either the guys who are like the incels, or it's the guys who are like us, me and Mike, or Fresh and Fit, or whoever else. And now we're suddenly the problem, but we're not the problem. The problem is that this is coming up to the bubbling up to the surface, and they can't ignore it anymore. So I said this on one of my podcasts recently. I said, if you take me away, you take Mike Sartain away, you take Fresh and Fit away, you take you guys away, take everybody away out of the red pill, guys are still aware of this. It's unignorable now because we live in the social media age, and it's there 24/7. It's not us going out there and saying, guys, go do this, here's our advice, you do all this stuff. It's the fact that Gen Z, probably Gen Alpha soon, and the latter half of the millennials, you can't avoid it. If you're online, you're going to see it on TikTok, you're going to see it on Twitter, you're going to see it on Instagram, you're going to see it wherever. And if you, like I said, you take us away, somebody's going to step into that vacuum.
You know, one thing that I'm really trying to push right now is we need to change the name of the current generation that's born in 2025. It's Generation Beta.
Generation Beta. Yeah.
That is such a terrible fucking name. Could we call it anything else, please?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
we get a different one. Gen Y didn't take off. They called them millennials.
Let me get to these super chats here right quick. Let's see. Sephiroth. What is that? Your D&D character? Bought the millennial book yesterday, Clarey, on chapter 3. Now it makes me want to self-delete. How brutal is it? Excellent writing.
Another satisfying
you're doing well if they want to self-delete after that. What do we have here? Hey, Cappy, do an analysis of what that simp could have gotten instead of for his $200,000.
Who's talking about that crypto bro? The guy who gave the OnlyFans girl $200,000.
He could have retired. He could have had. I mean, depending on his youth, he could have definitely been free. He could have bought it. He could have had his freedom. He could have arguably.
Siege D says, "Win Sartain psychology." Thank you, Sartainology. Ricky Romero, thoughts on Trump exemptions from the smartphones, computers, and other electronics. Did he fold or ultimate chess move? Miguel the GOAT.
Is he talking about tariff exemptions?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's because companies want laptops. They're not. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Chamber of Commerce.
Is that rare earth
no.
thing?
Yeah. So here's what's going on. Like, if you have a prosecutor in a federal trial, you know how they can throw like 30 counts of whatever on you?
Yeah.
It doesn't cost the prosecutor any more money to create more problems in your life that you have to defend yourself from, right?
Yeah.
And then what do they want you to do? They want you to plead down to, you're going to plead guilty to like 1 or 2 counts. President Trump, rightly or wrongly, what he's trying to do is he's creating a problem that didn't exist before, and then he's using it as a negotiating ploy. And because the Chinese people don't really give a fuck, the Chinese government doesn't really give a fuck about their people, they're like, we'll just raise our tariffs too. We don't care. We own all your debt. And I think we're playing a game of chicken. And I'm not saying if this works out, it's the greatest move ever. We get all these tariffs lifted off of all of our exports. That's unbelievable. But if it doesn't work out, we're playing chicken with the economy in the short run. And so I don't really know. Here's the other thing that could happen is there's 2 massive differences that I think make this possible. Number one, if you look at the way that SpaceX and Tesla started machining parts in-house. Have you guys seen this? Have you ever read about this? Like parts that would have cost $140 for some widget. They've been able to machine it in-house, and they're using economies of scale, meaning the machining processes they use for Tesla, they're also using for SpaceX.
Right.
But they're doing these things that normally would have been outsourced to Chinese laborers. They're doing them in-house and making it affordable. And number two, robotics combined with artificial intelligence. Now, all of a sudden, this cheap textile labor that we're using other countries for, we don't need anymore.
Right.
And now these tariffs actually stick. It's just something to consider in the future. In the short run, yes, we had a 20% drawdown in the S&P 500. I get it. But like in the long run, if we become even more self-sufficient, it becomes problematic. We have two oceans to protect us. We're completely self-sufficient. We're the only country in the world with 11 Nimitz aircraft carriers and a 5,600 nuclear missile nuclear arsenal. Yeah, I'm saying we become an even more stronger position because now we don't even need Canada for their maple syrup anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're not.
That's all you're good for, you.
We're not even
Canadians.
Canadian dollar crisis tomorrow.
We don't even need our tequila from Mexico anymore. Like we're just like
we're gonna rename it Aunt Jemima.
I can't even say
What
it
republic?
because you're like 100% right. It hurts.
My point is we don't like
Back to the original.
If we become even more self-sufficient due to this tariff thing, it's going to be a short-term drawdown later on, supported by some other ideas.
Yeah.
And by the way,
As soon as you handed me the White Claw, I knew you were going to roast me right after.
I got one more economic thing
I should give you a White Claw.
for us to think about.
Okay.
The taking taxes away from tips and overtime.
Yeah.
Yes.
You take
Yeah.
the taxes away from tips.
Uh-huh.
And you see all these girls going on OF and making $20 a month on OF, like
Those
the
are
new
big,
girls on
yeah.
OF.
All right.
I think if you see this taking money off tips, the strip clubs are going to be packed again.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see droves of women leaving OF and going right back to the strip clubs. And like, it's really funny because had they done this, Hooters wouldn't have filed for bankruptcy because you actually see attractive women would have gone back to that working condition. So I think that's another thing we could see in the future. And the other thing is the AI influencer.
Yes.
Guys, if you go, you showing me Mid Journey. I was looking at this one called Glitch or Glyph. I can't remember what it is. You take a photo, and then my buddy has a photo of him with these two girls, and he just makes the girls start making out with him in the photo, and it looks so real, bro. It looks so incredibly real.
Me and Mike are like really into AI. He uses it mostly for information.
Because like right now we're in the middle of an
energy.
energy. Get enough electricity to power this AI right now.
And so my point is, if the AI influencer ever becomes the standard, because so in football or baseball, you have the replacement level player wins against replacement. If the replacement level influencer becomes the AI influencer, then every woman below the median all of a sudden is out of work completely because I can reproduce the AI influencer ad nauseum, like ad infinitum. I can continually do that. And as a man, I can manage infinite AI influencers at the same time.
Right.
Look at Henry Ford with the Model T over here.
But so my point is,
but Mike, that would be evil.
What I'm saying is
not to sympathize.
What I'm saying is the not taxing tips and the AI influencer. All of a sudden, the restaurants are fucking Twin Peaks, the strip clubs. They're just packed. Tilted Tilt. They're just packed full of hot girls again. That's something that I could see happening in the future. That's something I
The
can see
Luddite
happening in
will
the
win
future.
in the end.
It's the end of Perkins. I got this one. This is a great question, by the way, CGD. Any chance of getting Dead Mouse on Access Vegas?
No chance. I'll be honest with you. So shout out to Jesse Preston. There's a lot of girls who they talk a lot of noise and they're like, I'm dating this guy and I know this guy. Jesse Preston has always told me my best friend is Dead Mouse, and it's like, oh, whatever. And then every time I see Dead Mouse, she's the only girl who's allowed on stage. The man is a total misanthrope. He does not like people. Jesse is always there. It's one of these things. My favorite rapper of all time is Pimp C from UGK, and I heard he's an asshole, and I'm glad I never met him. Even though I love the guy, he passed away in 2007.
Right.
I love Dead Mouse is one of my favorite artists. I hope I never meet him in person because if he's an asshole to me, it would ruin it.
I used to like
for me.
Ryan Stone, then I met him.
Yeah, you meet him. Yeah.
Oh my God.
What hope do we have for this?
Let's see. Forget. Hooters, get ready. Oh, that's
Oh,
funny.
that's awesome.
Spookers, yeah.
I'm listening at work. Where would I go to start submitting field reports? Clearly, Ryan and Rollo already have given me a lot of material to chew on. I have an actual field report section on the Rational Mail.
I do a Patreon one, but I'm not encouraging you to go there.
Go to mine.
Yeah, go to
Go to Ryan's OnlyFans.
I have a $5 a month group where you guys can put field reports in there.
Cool.
If you go to school.com and then look up Men of Action Forum, there's about 2,400 guys in there, and there's a bunch of field reports in there. And then I'll do one free call a month, and then we can discuss those.
Woohoo! Red pill couch. Ryan finally came to Vegas.
Oh, yeah, Dad, is that an Iggy on the thing?
He has actual real greyhounds.
at that.
Real greyhounds.
Oh,
full
they're real. They're
thoroughbred
smaller.
racing dogs.
But you're so right about the no tax on tips. It's going to be such a boom for Las Vegas. Oh my God, can you imagine all the strippers getting houses?
Yeah, it's
God
crazy.
damn.
Haven't seen that since 2008.
Yet. Hey.
Crom says the 3 pillars of the red pill. Rollo, Cappy, and Ryan. Good to see you guys together. Thank you.
Yeah, you got Jack Murphy spotted.
Yeah.
I want to tell you. Thanks.
Thomas V says, I would like to see the Manosphere discuss more about how the gynocentric social order has affected men's lives in the workplace instead of just discussing dating. It costs men a lot. Trust me.
Has he not seen your work?
That's all you talk about.
Yeah, go check out me and a guy called Raymond Thoughts and Minds. He is a younger man and he talks about escaping corporate America. But yeah, I do talk about avoiding HR and becoming self-employed.
Right.
There you go.
And have you guys heard about the whole fight right now with like basically about brand with AI and stuff, making sure that like you have your brand and that intellectual and property is protected.
Copywriting,
yeah,
Yeah.
because that's gonna be the future. Because it's like you'll be able to sell or have like make money off of like AI Rollo.
Yeah,
Or
they're
have
already
AI Rollo. Yeah, because
they're already doing it.
Dang
It's
it,
already
man, now you just gave
derivatives.
me another thing to do in my to-do list. I gotta.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aaron Clarey.
I know it's bad. I know piracy
AI
is bad
might-
enough. They can't survive without censorship. Thank you, perplexed procrastinator. You're correct. Actually, I learned that from Mike Sartain. Social constructionism comes from women. Women's behavior is heavily influenced by others. Get women out of power, and social constructionism goes. Wish that was the way it worked.
I
There's
actually.
too many guys that believe in social.
Would you like to hear me
constructionism.
say something up?
Yes, go ahead. God, really?
Whoa.
Well,
Hold on.
Hold up.
Silence. Go.
I think men are pulling away from this war.
Mhm.
And I think in about generation beta, I think the guys might, I don't know, win, but we're going to go back. I know you say the pendulum doesn't come back. We just keep going a different way.
Forward.
I think there will be a return to traditionalism without war or famine or all that, because I think guys are pulling away saying, F this shit, I'm out.
Okay.
Do you remember the thing I said before? Low status men and high status men. For high status men, you get the conservatism you want. Again, I just when I see guys who understand how to generate attraction with women, they get the girl they get a fully feminized, like super feminist woman cooking and cleaning for them. It makes no sense to them. It's like, for some reason, the girl's like, for some reason, I think cooking and cleaning is completely demoralizing, but for him, I want to do it. I don't want to have kids, but I want to have his kids. Like, when you're one of those high status guys, you get all this stuff. And so that's why I'm saying I don't know that the pendulum will ever swing back in the other direction. But I think for a certain group of men, you can have it all right now. It's just the rest of them are going to get left behind. And like I said, shamed for not subscribing to
yeah, there's always the top 10%
Yeah.
for everyone. Yeah, so that
It's not even
I think
top 10% though. People are just dropping out. Like when you're saying
Yeah.
top 10%, that
I think
10%.
20% maybe. Yeah.
The point is, like, most of the guys aren't even like, everybody thinks top 20% means Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Sometimes
No.
you're right.
Yeah.
Just a good workout schedule and not
Yeah,
fat.
top 10% of wage earners is $134,000 a year. It's
Yeah.
not that. It's not Lamborghini. It's
Probably
just,
under 230 bills.
Yeah,
or-
for
wait,
sure.
That's Ford Fiesta. Yes.
No,
Ford Fiesta.
hey, Ford Fiestas are good.
No, I know they're good. Yeah.
But I love how simple you put it.
2012 to
When
2019,
she wants
right?
you, she'll do
Yeah,
things
yes,
to keep
sir.
you happy.
yes, correct, exactly.
Almost like incentives matter. I know an economist that says something about that. You
I
might
think
know
he's
him.
an actuary.
I think the average man has brighter days ahead of them. There.
So Mike, so if what in the income bracket, where's $500,000 basically?
So
Or $1 million, right? 'Cause that's
I
what they
know,
want.
Okay, 1/10 of 1% is 3.3 million. 1% is 700,000 or 800,000. The top 2%, I want to say you're in the $400,000 a year.
So they want the
area.
top two.
Yeah, the top 10% is 134,000. The median is 59. Is that correct, guys? I think it's somewhere around.
It
there.
is 59.
Yeah, 59. So that's kind of where it straddles off. So when women are like $1 million a year, I think you're in the top 1/3 or top 1/5 of 1% to do $1 million a year. I think that's about right.
Like, do you even need to be? You don't need to be in that game. Top 20, top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let me
Good.
So top 20, if we were to extrapolate, I would guess is probably 85,000, 90,000 a year. I would guess that's probably the top.
Let me kill these out real quick. The first man, what the hell is going on with covert feminists? What's up?
Who?
Covert feminists.
Hey, no, actually, covert feminists is a great point.
Yeah.
Go back to what you were just saying before.
Yeah.
If you took women out of power, then you would
Right.
have these things like, no, Marx and Engels were not men.
Yeah.
Not women.
We're not
Marx and
women.
Engels were female,
True.
and they wanted social constructionism to the fullest degree.
Yeah.
If you believe
Well, that's
in
where it came
Leninism,
from,
therefore everything. Leninism was like in Leninism. Do you guys understand? Mendelian genetics? Right. So the idea was
selective breeding.
The Soviets and Mao Zedong, the famine, the massive famine that happened in China, happened because they didn't believe they understood basics about genetics, but they thought genetics was a blending process, and instead of understanding that there were two alleles. I don't want to go too far down this road, but the idea was there's a guy named Herman Mendel. I forgot what his first name was, but he comes up with his understanding of how alleles work with genetics, and so that he explains how crops work. And because the Russians and the Chinese didn't want to believe in this, that's why they starved thousands of their people, because they didn't want to understand basic functions of biology, right? And so it's the same kind of situation. The constructionism, or believing in your feelings more.
The Cincoism.
Huh?
The Cincoism.
What is, I don't know what that is.
He was the look him up. We'll talk later because it's already boring. So,
I came here for hose. What is this? Crop rotation.
Anyway, but let's look at what's the social constructionism. You okay?
Crop rotation.
Crop rotation. Yeah, you guys know what you guys get.
No wonder you get all the women. Crop rotation.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
I'm really fun at a party. Anyway, so Derek Jackson. He's a new guy. He's a new simper. Chris GQ Perry, Justin Baldoni, Will Hitchens. There's these new guys that are out there that are like leading the charge. If you ever seen them, they're always looking off camera. They're never looking directly at the camera, and they're reading a script, and they're telling men why everything's their fault. And they act like they're giving their speeches are to men, but only women are watching. And women are like, you go. Yes, that's right. I left my husband because I had a dream that he cheated, and I'm justified for leaving him. It's like, I'm not crazy. And like, these guys are so it's men who are doing this just as well. And then also, as soon as I hear the word male ally or male feminist, I know sexual assault charges are soon.
The clock's ticking.
The clock is ticking for the sexual misconduct charges that are coming afterwards. Because when you say male feminist, what I hear is uncalibrated, don't know how to communicate with women, about to do something super uncalibrated, trying to slide in there.
Pinko communist.
Yes, exactly.
The first man just came back from a trip in Phuket. Phuket.
Dude, Patong
Thailand.
Alley. I miss Patong Alley.
I met a lot of chicks there, early 20s from Europe, Russia, and Japan, who are still not jaded yet. Had a lot of fun flirting with them. Well, good for
Hope you
man.
enjoyed Madame Wong's ass smacking good time in Patong Alley, sir.
Why is Captain Sartain dressed like he just came back from the beach with his grinder date?
No, Grinder date stood me up. Grinder date. Have you seen that one video? It's like, you're dating an influencer or you're dating an entrepreneur. I was on Grinder because I'm on my grind. I think that was where people just go to like stay on their grind. I thought that's what it was.
Research.
Yeah,
it was just research.
I went to that Hustler building. Apparently, it's not about.
Yeah, it's not Hustler. You go to Hustler building. There's no Hustlers there. There are a bunch of naked women. But there's no Hustlers.
Very confused.
Yeah,
looking around, I can't find it. Having those red pill guys and adjacent on one show is legendary. Glad you're escaping maple communism. Maple communism.
I just think of that plastic straw and weep.
Oh my God. Last one. Find a woman in another country outside the West and you'll get traditional values you want if it doesn't work in the US, UK, etc. I don't know about the UK, my friend. But yeah, we were just talking about passport bros before we loaded in here.
There's nothing wrong with passport bros, but the problem is the cope of how many of them it really is just sex tourism, and then they're pretending that it's passport bro stuff. That being said, I was dating a girl from Eastern Europe, and holy shit, it was like night and day. She was just like I would be sitting there doing something, talking to my friends, and she would calmly sit there and wait for me and be like, baby, you okay? She's like, yes. And then get up and just be so excited to see me, and then go home and jump all over me. And I was like, this is crazy.
Legion of men.
Like Latvian women are like this. I did not know this was possible.
Well,
it's crazy.
I think he's married to a Central European.
Yeah.
Child. Yeah.
Oh wait, how short is Sartain? 5'6", 5'8", 5'2", 5'3". Come on, guys, keep going. I want to see some more. Guy 5'9". Hey, you're getting up there.
So
built like a Spanish crane.
Because I think this is a good topic right here. Like, so what's the difference between like a sex tourism guy versus like an expat bro versus passport bro?
So here's the thing: if you're going to Norway,
expat has more crypto.
If you're like the women here are too fat, and I went to Norway to find a good woman, I'd be like, okay, that
Yeah.
place has a middle class. That means you're not trying to pick amongst the prostitutes to try to find one. But if you say, I went to Medellin to find a traditional woman, I'm like, you don't even speak Spanish, bro. Like, I know the women that are going to come talk to you. And so that's why I would say there's a little bit, if you're in Panama City, if you're in Medellin, there's a couple other places here. It's like, oh, I went to Singapore to find a traditional woman. Okay, maybe. But if you're telling me that you went to some other country, like I would say Romania, I think is a little different. I don't think it's just nothing but prostitution. There is a bit of a middle class. Ukraine, maybe not so much now, but some places like Poland, there is a middle class. And so when women have other options and they still choose you, then I'm kind of fine with that. But if it's a situation where it's like you make equivalent in her country to $3 million a year and her family's starving, and then all of a sudden she chooses you, I think that's just a code for sex tourism.
So arbitrage is basically it. Sex tourism if you're trying to plan on arbitrage, but if you're actually going for better.
Yeah, but wait, I actually don't.
Arbitrage is the word, right?
Yeah, arbitrage. It is. It is. I've used that word before too. It's because it's a risk-free exchange.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I actually don't have a problem if you have a stressful life and you want to go to Medellin, fuck a bunch of prostitutes. I'm not here to judge you.
But
My point is, don't come back here and then start a dating program and then try to tell me that I'm wrong about the shit that I'm doing.
This is so specific a reference.
Yeah, that's oddly specific.
Just saying, like if you're in Brazil or Colombia, I don't mind. Do whatever you want.
Brazil,
straight out.
Another specific reference.
Can we pull up? Can we pull up Casey Redbeard's advertisement about I date teenagers? Have you guys seen this?
What?
No.
What was he thinking?
Go right now. It's on Twitter. Just look up Casey Redbeard. It's mega viral. And the thing is, I have a lot of respect for the
Casey
fact.
with a C.
That sounds like Zerko. He's like, I fuck teenagers.
Yeah. And he talks about why he dates teenagers, and he goes, but he owns it. And he's like, I go to these other countries and I do it. He's not trying to come here and say, I could go to Las Vegas and date the hottest chicks. If you do that, that's the problem. It's like, if you've given up and you've gone there, that's fine. Just don't come at me and then tell me, like, I happen to find the American women who aren't fat. And so, that because I have my own processes to do that. But if you go to these other countries and you start sleeping with a bunch of girls who have no other option but to sleep with you because they're so poor, and in those cases, I'm not here to judge you morally. My only thing is don't come back here, start a dating program, and then start telling people that you know what you're talking about because you don't.
Oh, Casey, that's Fresh's old roommate. Okay,
Yeah.
That
Can you pull
Casey.
this up?
Is he the guy that does the parties in Colombia?
Huh?
The parties in Colombia?
What about it?
Is that the guy who does the parties in Colombia?
No, I know a bunch of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of friends who do it. Again,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to criticize Casey. I know him. He's cool. He's a cool guy. I'm just saying this was just such blatant honesty that I actually appreciated it. And this is, for me, I test probably 40, 50 advertisements a month. For this is great marketing. This is incredible. I don't know if we can pull it up.
Is it? I don't know if I have the whole. Do you want the clip? Because Fresh has the whole.
The clip is fine. The first
thing. Well, I'm just finding the whole thing right now. I don't find the clip. Let me keep looking. Hang on.
Casey was getting in some hot water over like basically having so many parties in Colombia or something. Yeah.
So there is a movement now by feminists in Colombia and certain men in Colombia. Stop trying to sleep with all these younger women. You're taking advantage of them. And so now I have friends of mine who live there who don't speak Spanish very well, and they're just like, yeah, it's pretty dangerous. Like they're actually trying to get rid of us. They're trying to kick us out. Because their resource that's being exploited is, and I'm saying this being Colombian, is beautiful women. The women there, for whatever reason, are fucking gorgeous. Yes. There's, for some reason, Eastern Europe and the northern part of South America have these stunning women. And all of South America has these stunning women, and so they just disproportionately more than other places do.
So is it the guys who aren't being able to fuck these women funding the feminists in the country to kick out the dudes? Is that what's happening?
I just think it's probably some college-educated middle class women are left in Colombia that are coming back and saying you're exploiting this thing for sex tourism in our country, and it's not good for our country.
Simpler. Old ugly women are pissed that men are having fun. That's
that's how it works.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, I found it. Hang on. It's actually pinned on the top of his thing. It's actually pinned. It's pinned. Yes.
W, bro.
Give me a second here. I'm just gonna. It's too good. I gotta show you the full Twitter.
It's so wild, bro. Like when I saw this, I was like, oh my.
Oh yeah, it is Casey. Okay, cool.
That Casey. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
I date teenagers. Yes, you heard that right. The girl in this video is 18 years old, and the reason why I like to date actual teenagers, 18 and 19 years old is because by the time they reach 25, 28 years old, the amount of bad habits that they've taken on from the influence of mainstream society and feminism, it's almost impossible to correct them. Things like getting tattoos, getting piercings, taking on a generally combative and disagreeable nature. Then there's the entitlement mindset where they expect the man to do everything for them and don't want to offer anything in return. It's much easier to just start with a younger girl, more impressionable, kind of a blank slate, and teach her from the very beginning the proper way to conduct herself and guide her rather than try to fix the bad habits of an older woman. I date
teenagers.
Whatever your opinion about this is magnificent.
Brilliant marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is magnificent marketing.
I am happy in the second sentence after like 18 and 19-year-olds. You know what I mean?
Dude, the first one I ever heard that say that was Zerka. Zerka was the first one.
Yeah.
Like, I fuck only teenagers.
Yes.
Virgin teenagers.
I know. It's like the range, right? It's like,
Yeah.
be more specific, please. Thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
good on him, though. It's like the chick staring at the camera. She was loving the.
Well, he knew
Yeah.
damn well what he's doing
Oh,
too,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's like, and that's how he.
Shout out to Castle
emphasizes-
Club Premium. Shout out to the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he knew.
Good
Yeah.
on him. He had me puckered for a bit.
Oh my god. It's also local men in those countries don't like American men
Yeah.
or European because they have the resources to compete.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'm sure that's
Yes.
it as well.
So, so you're probably more tuned into this. Are you starting to, because obviously, look, a lot of the millennial women are aging out now, and a lot of the guys means don't want to date. Like, you know, let's get out of a relationship. Fuck that. I'm going to date a 25 or 18-year-old chick, right? Are you starting to see the millennial hate or the Xer hate from Zoomers? For Zoomer,
Are we talking about men or women?
I'm talking about men. Some men in the Zoomer category are they starting to get mad at the successful millennial men and the Zoomer men or the Xer men taking the Zoomer women?
I think they're too busy playing Call of Duty. I don't know. They're watching porn. Like, I don't know.
COD, oh,
Kyle's back there going,
wow.
yeah.
360 no scope. Holy shit.
By the way, I'm playing Call of Duty right after this. But I think they don't care enough to care. Right. I don't think I don't really think they're thinking about it that much. The idea of the studies they've done on incels, the sedation has caused them to be nonviolent, but it also caused them to be non-active. Right. So I think that guy who doesn't have success with women, and by the way, I think it's going in one direction. When there's $100,000 sex robots you can buy right now. When those things become affordable, you're going to see dudes really pulling out of this market. Like, some guy's going to buy 4 sex robots that can change their appearance all the time, and you will never see them at a bar out in public ever again.
You don't see them now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. But I'm saying when we
talked about that, right? I mean, the bars and clubs are closing because there's just not enough
massive
people.
amount. So an issue we have here in Vegas, I will say, I remember a time when the ratio was way more women than men. I just the quality of women at strip clubs I've seen here has kind of dropped a little bit. But when I go to other cities, it's
Las
just
bonitas.
nothing but dudes.
Las
It
chicas
is
bonitas.
nothing
Chica
but dudes.
bonita.
Every
There's
club.
Chica toxicas now too. There's 2 of them.
Crazy. That's so wild.
Oh, we have to. Death Punch asks, what is Aaron's pronouns? Booster, seat.
If this was shorter, I could figure it out.
Oh, here we go. ¿A cuánto la hora?
¿Cuánto la hora? Yeah. How much the hour? Yeah.
Yep. $20. Well, we've been talking about the sort of the thing going on with adolescence and stuff right now, and I think that's bringing things up to a head right now. I think the conversation is, I think in the future, everybody at this table really is going to be answering questions. We're going to be like, people are going to start asking us stuff. Have you seen anything by Carl Benjamin lately? They're like, in the UK, they're asking him a lot of questions. I don't know how he became the preeminent guy for the red pill, but he's a good dude. I'm not gonna shit on him or anything like that, but I think that the conversation has definitely entered a more public sphere right now. So if Megyn Kelly is responding to indirectly to Andrew Wilson, and that was really Pierce Morgan trying to have a conversation about adolescence.
Yes.
And they want to talk about killer incels and everything else. I think that's just one aspect of a greater conversation that we're having right now. And I mean, we were just talking about how that is the red pill going mainstream. We've been having that conversation since I was since back
you were young.
Since I was young. Yes, you're right. I just had a birthday.
The adolescence thing. I just want to make sure for anybody who's watched it or are interested in this debate or conversation, I want to make sure there's an objective fact that's understood. in the United Kingdom, I did multiple forms of research on this. I looked for a upper or middle class child who was exposed to manosphere content and that caused him to stab, and I looking for Anglo children, that caused him to stab a girl anywhere near analogous to what happened on the show Adolescence. And there were zero incidents of this. I want to make sure you guys understand. This is not an exaggeration. It is a complete and total fiction. Yeah. There are stabbing deaths by young boys in the UK. This has way more to do with immigration and socioeconomic status.
Yeah. He said it, not me.
And absolutely nothing to do with manosphere or red pill content on top of the data that shows that incels aren't violent. So it's like, because
I have your screenshot right here.
It's because
research suggests no widely reported cases in the UK Anglo middle class children exposed to manosphere or red pill content leading to stabbings. The Netflix show Adolescence, aired on March 2025, explores these themes but is fictional. Let me restate that. Is fictional, focusing on youth violence and online influences. Evidence leans towards general concerns about incel culture and youth violence, but specific cases matching the criteria that you put in are not documented publicly.
So one more time, guys. The thing that happened in Adolescence has never happened in real life, and this is being used as a fulcrum to pass more censorship legislation in the United Kingdom. I think this was a cool screenplay, probably written by Thorne, Stephen Graham, and Brad Pitt, that came together and say, hey, I have a good idea. And then one of them came up with the idea. I got a great idea how we can go viral here, guys.
We can market.
Let's market this to say that the reason it was probably just about a stabbing of an angry kid who did this. But then it was like, I got an idea. Let's sprinkle in some manosphere bullshit in there. It's only in the second episode where they even refer to it at all. And in doing so, what are they doing? They're justifying their, since 2003, it's over 5,000 people who have been arrested for hate speech, for saying basically things that would not be allowed in the United States. You can say whatever you want. If I had a child who was, let's say I had a grandchild who was a mixed race.
UK, right?
Yeah, This is in the UK. Okay. I had a grandchild who was a mixed race or whatever. I'm mixed race. And they started getting people saying horrible things, calling them racial slurs. I wouldn't like it, but I wouldn't ask for anyone to go to jail over it. Right. That's the difference in this country. In the United Kingdom, if you say things that go against certain speech, you misgender someone, or you say something that they feel is homophobic, whatever, you can be arrested. This is horribly unpopular in the United Kingdom. And so in order to reduce that stress of unpopularity, they put out propaganda like Adolescence. Adolescence, please understand, I don't mind that you're being sold to, just know that you're being sold. Adolescence is United Kingdom propaganda, making it justifiable for their laws censoring certain types of content. If you take any time to actually look at the data, you will find there are zero incidents of what happened in Adolescence happening in real life, but yet the content creators and the legislators don't seem to want to answer that question.
There is no boogeyman, no one gets
correct.
paid. Yeah. So I was but what it is doing is it's also spawning this conversation right now. And I think that a lot of the conversation comes back to the idea. What's that?
No one talks trash about mixed race people unless they're half black.
It's true. But I think this is like bringing up well, actually an international conversation right now. And we were just talking about, I think it was you, Aaron, who was saying, guys are just checking out, right? Yeah. And like so now we're suddenly coming to this awareness. It's like guys are either saying they're going black pill, they're going MGTOW. Like, I mean, maybe not like consciously, but they're doing it simply because they have, like, remember, was it Dr. Helen Smith? Is that what he was talking about?
Dr. Helen.
She had that book, Men on Strike. And when that came out, I was like, they're not actually organizing and going on strike. It's just the most pragmatic, logical thing that they were doing.
Yes.
So it's not that they're like saying, you know what, we're going to really stick it to the ladies. It's just that's what they see as their recourse. And so you got guys that are coming out of like really nasty divorces and they don't know what they're doing. They're suddenly we have this sort of national epidemic of like male loneliness. We got, we want to build a big case for incel killers or whatever, and then at every turn there's something about like guys are dropping out of the workforce, guys are don't want to go to they're they're not enrolling at the same rates as women, and they are not graduating at the same rates as women. And so we're looking at, yay, team women, but like whenever you point in the direction of the guys and you want to have a conversation about the guys, then it's do better. Yeah. Like get back into it. And the thing is what's the motivation, right? I mean,
I would say they're also dropping out just because there's no good news. Like like I go hiking because I don't pay attention to the news anymore because it puts me in a worse state. I think a lot of young men are like, why am I going to listen to TikTok girls? Like, oh my God, like why are they going to go see Netflix? They got Devil May Cry. Why are they going to watch Adolescent? Why? What's out there that's interesting or exciting for them to watch? And so I think, incentives. Yes. It's not just it's all the women all the time and you men suck. It's like maybe they just want to go play some old video games like Call of Duty. That was fun. So I again, maybe it's a little too optimistic for my taste, but I don't think it's necessarily they're tuning out because they're being treated poorly. They might be seeking for something else that's more fun or just enjoyable in life,
or wanting to try to find some sort of like direction or some kind of
purpose. Yeah,
right? I mean, so, and that's, I mean, we've been talking about this since like the Peterson days when we were talking about like it's not meaning men are lacking, it's purpose. They don't have new frontiers to explore. They don't have new things to conquer. They don't have new mountains to climb. They don't
wake up in the morning with a hop in your step.
Yeah, a stiff dick and a stiff middle finger to the rest of the world, right?
Well, that unto itself, like I got a lot of clients who, because I've been around, Asshole Consulting is 11 years old now. A lot of these guys who were teenagers back then are now in their 20s and early 30s. And the questions are great. I have a degree in whatever, computer science. I save my money. What do I do with $250,000? My house is paid off. I'm like, I don't know, buddy. I mean, you beat me to it. I have no idea what happens after this. So at least having a life and good finances and achieving freedom, that is the minimum that they can attain. And it takes a while. And you're seeing a lot of guys, especially if you abandon chasing girls inefficiently or getting divorced and married and stuff like that. Also, the money starts adding up real quick all of a sudden, and now like there's good problems they have. So I think there's a lot of light at the end of the tunnel.
So are you starting to get kind of what Rollo's starting to get is the like they want prescriptions from you? Like, thank you for getting me for this really good financial point in my life. I can now choose what I want to do.
What's next?
What's next? Like, what adventure should I go on?
Yeah, that's
your decision.
I hate that when guys do that because that's the whole point. All this stuff, like how do you make money? How do you get here? Those are fine. The self-actualization, you're supposed to answer that for yourself, and that's what I hate. Guys will work so hard to get to the point.
Show me how to live.
Yeah, show me how to live. Like, no, you pick something.
Yeah.
What if I get it wrong? Oh, you'll get it wrong.
I know, and I've struggled with that with my own writing for the longest time because I've always been like, the red pill is like it's amoral, it's a-religious, it's apolitical, it is just the information. It is it's the praxeology. Somebody I know wrote a book about that, but it's the praxeology of intersexual dynamics. And again, if you can't give people information without telling them how to feel about it, and because if not, they're gonna insert their own meaning and they're going to tell you why you told them that kind of stuff. But the thing, and then you deal with guys, and every time you and I do a show, whenever it's quarter three for crypto mindset, right? But I always try to keep it topical, right? Because you're coming on my show, we're going to keep it, within the realm, and that's why there's a lot of crossover between the red pill and crypto guys, because guys who go from zero to hero, they go from like being dirt poor to making $10 million off of crypto, and they're like, they become marks, right? And that's what we always talk about. And those are the guys who at one point had dropped out. Now they've got a shit ton of money, and they're like, oh man, I just met this great girl at the Bitcoin convention, and now she wants to suck my dick. This is awesome. My ship has finally come in, right? And so what happens is like you have to prepare those guys to say, don't get rolled because the girl's not there because she thinks you're all that hot. She's there because you just made $10 million off of Solana.
Well, that's the thing. She might be, but can you tell the difference?
Yeah,
you can.
But that's the point. When they ask you to tell them what to think, what to feel, it's like that makes you no different than the feminist on Megyn Kelly telling them what to do.
Yeah,
and I'm beefing with a bunch of fucking crypto chicks now. Because like the crypto chicks, it's just a bunch of they're just grifters. I mean, there is a few of them that have really great information, but most of them it's not. It's just basically giving me free money, or I'm just getting views for garbage content. And then a lot of these girls end up eventually selling out to scam projects and to make their money.
Yeah,
like the Hawk Twa thing.
Yeah, like the Hawk Tua thing, right?
Yeah.
And she got away. It's now
it's
legal to make a scam coin now. It's legal to make a scam coin because Trump made one effectively. Yeah, he made the Trump coin, right? Did good initially, then they jumped Melania, then they drop I think like a fake version of what's his name, one of the sons and stuff, and then it crashed out. And now Hawk Tua's got a free coin. Basically, everybody, we can all launch meme coins right now.
So Nixon
trouble.
was right. It's not illegal when the president does it.
Correct.
So
How
I-
about that?
So
correct.
I can launch Ned coin now, right?
Yeah, you can. You actually can.
It's so crazy. Like the highest liquidity instrument in this whole country, which is SPY, the exchange traded note, is lost 20% of its value. How about you put your money there? What the fuck? Like, that's so crazy to me. It's like everybody's looking for every answer other than the honest one. And when
Sartain, but that's not going to get me money tomorrow to get my dick sucked.
right, exactly. When Bitcoin went from 100 down to 79, how about buy it now? How about buy it now? You know,
like,
stock
and
market.
that is like, look, let me tell you what Sartain said is so fucking true, because it takes patience, because you're not going to get your dream in a fucking year.
Yeah,
you're not. But like when I got into crypto, it was $400. Today it's like 79,000.
Yeah,
79,000 in like 8 years. Like you could, someone just making dollar cost averaging, or even if you bought the like I got out of high school in 2009 during the crash, right? You could have just been buying the S&P 500. Where would you be right now?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
I think,
Yeah, you'd be up so much.
Yeah, so I did one. What happens if you bought that? If you had $100,000 in a bank account and you went margin 200%, and let's say I used TD Ameritrader, Schwab, their margin numbers. So it's 12% per year, I think, for an account that size. And so what would happen? And it was, you'd make $1.2 million. And it's 1.4 million, but you pay 140,000 in marketing fees over the course of 20 years. That you would have gone from 100 grand in your bank account to 1.2 million dollars in your bank account if you had just invested in the SPY.
But I need it tomorrow. I need it tomorrow. And then this is why, like, I've seen like people want to know why meme coins got so big and why, like, it went viral, right? The president made a meme coin, right? It's because meme coins are our version in competition against parlay bets in sports betting.
Yeah.
Because meme coin, like, so there's actual, like, let me invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum into an L1 token, but even that takes 2 years to make money, right? Where meme coins, I buy this meme coin at $100,000 valuation, like, N2 or, Fat Boy season, right? Or whatever, these dumb coins, right? You buy them, and then within 2 months, you make all your money. And that's what's happening is people are betting on parlays. Like there's a sports gambling epidemic happening in America right now. And that's why the market has gone towards meme coins, because we're competing against sports betting.
Well, that's the thing that scares me, because there's too much capital. That's why weird things are becoming investment vehicles. Like meme coins, or remember when used cars used to be an investment vehicle there for a while?
They still are.
Yeah, but I'm like serious ones where you couldn't get you get a 1987 Bronco for 50,000-60,000.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's the problem. There's so much money that people are looking for more and more niche and obscure
collectibles and stuff, right? Yeah.
Then meme coins. Yeah. A coin that was, if I remember, Dogecoin, Dogecoin was literally told, this is not a real coin. We're just messing around, and people are like, take my money.
But want to know something? It's going to be it's the only meme coin this cycle that's going to get an ETF. They're almost approved now.
Yeah.
So Doge is going to have an ETF.
1920s will last forever. I feel you.
You're going to get an ETF.
Yes, this year. That's happening in the summer. Yep.
So you have cultivate
crypto.
Well, you got crypto mindset is your course, and then Mike has Men of Action, and we have Reignite, and you have your minimalist course. Are you still doing your minimalist?
That I have only open available. Like,
are you planning on doing any more? Course?
Yeah, I have like 5 courses through Teachable. The main one that would be closest to the top where we're talking now would be Achieving Financial Excellence. It's like an introductory course, and that's one of the simple. And then I know it's very niche, but a lot of people want to learn how to work remotely. Accounting. So me and Chad Elkins, my tax account, we put together a course called The World's Greatest Accounting Career, because you're not going to get the average accounting. You're going to have the world's greatest accounting career, and that would get you most closest to being remote, by whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and Ryan has his book.
I left the Manosphere. I'm writing fiction.
You done? Oh, that's you are. How's that going?
It's actually, I'm doing better than all the red pill books, which I'm happy for it. There's girls reading it.
Really?
And I love it. I love the fact that you can have a book that does all the stuff you've been talking about. Leave it on your coffee table. The girl asks what that is, flips through it, and then reads the book. I think that's amazing. Turns out all they needed was a pretty picture.
He took my advice. We need more red pill writers. That was one of my essays.
Well, we talked about that 6
we did.
years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, just take 50 Shades of Grey, put it in the AI tool,
take
a version of it and sell it.
Right, yeah.
Or
Reverse the
just
sexes.
read Jack Reacher right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think we are all pretty well established in this space. And we're all trying to do something, I guess, for lack of a better word, outreach, right? I mean, we have a specific set of guys that we're doing for. And then Mike has his. I love that analogy, by the way, where you're the offensive coordinator and we're the defensive
Because
coordinator.
people didn't understand. They were
Yeah.
like, so pickup is anti-red pill and vice versa. And I was like, no.
No.
What pickup was it was like, this is how I get the girl.
Mhm.
And when I was hanging around Mystery and Neil Strauss, and when I first met Owen, we never discussed her political convictions, whether or not she was educated, and what her body count was. There was no, I'm telling you right now, in 2008, the discussion of a body count was not a thing. It was all offense. I can't get girls. How do I get girls?
Yeah.
The red pill came out, and it's like a lot of the guys in the red pill don't know how to get girls, but they do know how to not get fucked over in a divorce. And so that became the defense. And so that was the difference. It was
Nice.
yeah. So
Nice.
Wow.
And so you have a defensive coordinator and an offensive coordinator. And my whole thing for me is I do try to warn you. Like I tell guys all the time, get a prenup, that kind of stuff. But I'm way more concerned with the offense. I'm way more concerned with you getting a life where there's so many people wanting to be in your network and so many women surrounding you that other women have to know. They're crawling out of their skin to figure out who you are. And so that's offense. That's why.
So what are the Eagles?
Huh?
So,
What are the Eagles?
so what are the Eagles?
So if he's the offense, what would you say we are? How would you define Reignite in those terms?
In those terms,
Yeah.
well, we are partly on the offense.
Yeah.
We're partly on the defense.
Right. Yeah.
It
You
all
got to
starts
know.
right,
You got to
so
know the
it's-
offense to
Yeah,
be a
exactly.
good defense.
I mean, you got to get into the relationship in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? To be able to, and then
I
to be
mean,
able to lead the
we're
relationship.
primarily, like unfuck your life, like rebuild your life or start building your life. For guys who are like sort of, purpose wise, just like rudderless in life, we're good for that. But also,
Well,
guys who are like picking up from like starting over from zero.
Yeah. Well, I came from a bad divorce,
Uh-huh.
and then I was just isolating at home
Mhm.
the whole time, and it's like, fuck this, I can't do this, right? And I joined your program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the idea is to get out and have a great social life and build your network.
Yeah. So the idea of going out and fixing your social media so that you meet a bunch of really attractive women and then inviting thousands of girls to events, that's offense.
Yeah.
The idea of now I'm dating a girl and like, who is the one who brings up what are we? Who is the one who brings up the
The
relationship?
talk.
It has to
Yes,
be
the
her.
talk.
That's
Yeah.
defense.
Mhm.
If I'm the man and I'm bringing that up, now she's not only the gatekeeper to sex, she's also the gatekeeper to the relationship. That's defense. That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
We do not let women who don't have sex with us ask for monogamy. We don't give monogamy exclusivity to a woman we're not sleeping with. That's defense.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm saying there's a difference
Between
for
those,
both sides trying to understand. And what happens is a lot of guys, they only focus on the defense because the defense does kind of like shame women. But for the offense to work, you have to come to these realizations like women want this, and this is the way to get what you want because life is more fun with lots of women.
Mhm.
So
And it goes back to what you said.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to lead the relationship.
Yes.
And when you're leading the relationship, the women will come along with you,
Yes.
right?
because you guys are bringing back the offense. So so like Aaron Clarey is the reason I'm in the red pill because I found his videos on YouTube and that's how I came into the red pill. But during that time, it was all defense, right? What happened pre that? Why did the offense essentially fall off?
I'll tell you why. 2017, YouTube went out, and it partly had to do with Julian Blanc. It had to do with some other content creators. They were doing hidden infield on YouTube, and they took, I want to say, 1,700 pickup artist accounts. They took them down from YouTube all at once.
Oh, so there's a clearing.
Yeah, so it was a clearing
Oh.
out that happened.
There was
and
a few prison cases. Wasn't there a guy who was like an underage thing?
sure.
He wasn't a big pickup guy, but they used him to smear everybody.
Correct. And so from that, a void was then created in that section of self-help, and then Red Pill sort of Red Pill became a little bit more mainstream
Got it.
with that, his book, and Fresh and Fit in 2019. That's when things started to become mainstream because there was this gap that was filled because RSD was putting out videos that were getting huge view counts, and they had to take all that content down on their own. And go ahead.
Because like the way I saw, because I did not know that part, right? Because I just thought it was from RSD imploding, kind of, and that I thought that was the reason why, because it was like they were just overly promising things, and that wasn't happening, right?
No, RSD. The problem was they couldn't market on YouTube the same way they could before. In fact, if you look at Owen's content now, he never talks about pickup anymore. He just can't, like because of the past.
And is there a point of like there's like what you guys are doing, which is like I think you guys can keep doing forever, right?
Yeah.
But is there like a portion where like initially, like I see this with a lot of red pill guys as well who enter the space when they're younger, is that they're showing more of like the party lifestyle version of it, where like I'm trying to like, I'm 23 picking up a 23-year-old chick, and there's a bit of an aging out, or like maybe like, I don't really want to go out every night and drink.
Yeah.
Like what? Like
so no one in our program drinks. We don't.
Okay.
We don't have drinking, and it's not the party lifestyle. What I do is I use the nightclub as a a teaching tool because it's harder. If I take a guy who has he's very quiet, whatever, and he doesn't know how to dress well, and I put him in a nightclub environment, and then I let him see other guys go up and talk to girls where they're louder than the music, and they do it get around the security guards, all this kind of stuff, outdress everyone else. When they do it, and then they go back and try to meet women at their accounting convention, it's a joke. So I use nightlife because it's harder. That's the main reason why I use it. Yeah. Picking up really attractive women in very high stimulus, loud nightclubs is fucking difficult. And if you're good at that, then you go back to your regular life, then because you're on hard mode, you go back to your regular life, it's a joke. Yeah. And so that's essentially why I use it. But no, I don't recommend
fish in a barrel, basically, when you go back to your
I mean, if you jumped out of an airplane 7 times in one day, by the last time it would be fun, but you wouldn't have the same like adrenaline rush. And one thing they do in the military with infantry is they put them behind a berm and they start firing live rounds over them, so you can hear what the live rounds sound like. That first time, that's not fun. It's scary as shit. Right. But after a while, you're getting used to what. Same thing in jiu-jitsu. You control your breathing when you go to the ground instead of getting more aggressive. You train your mind through immersion to be able to be able to step up to the conflict, to step up to the high pressure situation. And so I just uniquely use the nightclub environment with my clients, and I'm saying you have to go approach 50 women tonight when they don't want to do it. Doing the thing you don't want to do and still doing it is the skill set that we want to teach. And so now I've said this before, if you can bench press 300 pounds, you can bench press 200 pounds.
Train harder than you fight.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and so I put them in the most fucked up situations. And I'm like, talk your way up into that VIP.
What about talking up, going on a hike?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Again with the hike. Okay. Let me get these out of here right quick. Uncle Luke says, hey, different men like different things. Not every man wants a woman in the United States. And I think it's great if men do want women in the US. It's important that men raise their value enough to have the choice.
Choice is nice.
Choice is good. My prescription, just enjoy the spoils of war. So you're an advocate for Cappy. And flirting is an art. When done good, it feels like magic. You are correct, sir. So let's get out of here. This has been a really great show. Gosh, I can't even believe like how many comments and how everybody's. Geez, what are we up?
Napier's
even Jack Napier is in. Yes, that's all right.
I think that would scare some people.
You would think so. Yes. Well, the long and the short of this is the whole reason I brought this last part up here is because I see in the future coming up, we're going to especially the guys who are sort of the preeminent voices in this sphere, for lack of a better term, we're going to have a target on us, even if we have the best of fucking intentions. Right. So, I mean, I've known Mike for forever now. And so I know what he's about. I know what you guys are about. I know what everybody at this table is about. And that doesn't mean that we're not going to be mischaracterized in the future from, from the mainstream. Last one here, seeing that there are a few authors on the panel, I would like to publish my sci-fi books, self-publish, of course. Literary agencies have nothing to do with me. Hey, welcome to the club. What advice or pointers can you give or offer me? Learn KDP.
Yeah, actually, you know what? You know the hardest part about being an author is getting the audience to learn your effing name.
Yeah,
mark it before you put pen to paper.
To answer his question directly, everything's YouTube tutorial, and KDP has instructions.
As far as do you want the philosophical answer, or do you want like the technical answer? Because you're going to be using like get with Atticus, Scrivener and Atticus. Those are the two.
Would you have someone start like I review like sci-fi books, and then I give out a couple free sci-fi things? Or
stop thinking about sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because what happens, this is why most authors suck.
Most impacted
is they make pastiches of something. Like every fantasy writer just writes his shitty version of Tolkien. You forget that it's a business.
Right.
You're not writing a science fiction book. There's only, like Vonnegut said himself, there's only 6 stories. Upward, downward inflection, hero's journey, Cinderella, whatever. Science fiction is just the window dressing you throw onto it. But if nobody knows who you are, you can have the best book in history and nobody will know and nobody will buy it.
Yep.
So it's just like anything. You need people to learn who you are. You send them excerpts of what they're in for. You make sure that it appeals to the certain type of person. If it's a passion project, you got to put a lot of thought into care into everything. Your cover is an advertisement. Your first word, because they'll buy your book, but if they don't read it and recommend it to other people, so your first paragraph is a sales.
You got to grab them by the nuts in the first paragraph.
Your first page is a sales pitch. And a lot of people don't think about it like this. They think it's like a passion thing, and Amazon is some magic box that brings you subscribers. It's like, no. You have to sell them on all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
God, I wish.
And they always think, oh, what if I cheap out on the editor? That's great. But if somebody can't get through your first chapter because it's poorly worded or poorly written, then they're not going to recommend it. They're going to give it a low star. You're going to drop on the KDP algorithm.
Yeah.
And so, the least important thing is writing a good sci-fi book to make a great sci-fi book. Like the best-selling author I could think of right now, Hillary Clinton.
Seriously.
Seriously.
Did she write a good book?
How would I know? But
I don't
everybody
know.
knows who Hillary Clinton is.
Oh, okay.
And everybody bought that book.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for all
Thanks.
participating today. You want to drop your link real quick? Well, it's already in the description.
Yeah, if you guys want to go to moamentoring.com. And by the way, if you're still skeptical, because I know a lot of people are, because they see my lifestyle and they're like, there's no way this dude's with 25 girls tonight and he's not paying any of them. Please go to moamentoring.com/testimonials. You'll see 200 testimonials of guys shorter than you, browner than you, fatter than you, older than you, okay, and poorer than you, who are absolutely crushing it. And you're welcome to ask them for their own testimonial. What I've done, I believe, is so transgressive that it's starting to piss people off. But if you're willing to put that aside and say, I'm willing to upgrade my life no matter what, then go to moamentoring.com. And then if you guys want to jump on our server, it's $5 a month or it's $47 a year. So it's like $3.90 a month to go to school.com and then just look up Men of Action Forum.
Cool. Joe.
Yeah.
Give it.
Yeah,
what are we doing, Sue? What do we have up and coming?
Oh, up and coming. We've got Reignite Alpha. We have a workshop coming up on April 26th. And then we're having a program around the Babes in Toyland charity event, May 17th, the White Party in Miami.
Yep. And then we will be at Bunny Ball on the 19th.
Yeah, Bunny Ball next week.
Next week.
One other thing I want to say.
Oh, Access Vegas on Wednesday.
Yeah, Access Vegas on the 16th. The one of the girls who owns the Hippo is actually bringing a bunch of girls on.
Right on. And I'm going to bring Alvaro on the show. This is going to be great.
So there's that's happening. The other thing I want to say is in July right now, we have a Vegas immersion planned for every 1 week every year. The month, and the one in July, it's Mystery's going to be with me, Eric von Markovic. So he's going to be here for the whole thing. And then on August 2nd at MOA Summit, Mystery's going to be one of the speakers. Rollo's going to be one of the speakers. I'm asking Justin Waller if he can come out and speak. And Owen Cook is trying to move his schedule around so he can also be a speaker for MOA Summit. So if you guys want to learn about that, you can go to vegasimmersion.io and you can learn about our infield thing that we do here. It's a full week. We're going to wear you out. You're going to every morning will be photo shoots. Afternoon is going to be academics, and every night you're going to be out doing cold approach. So it's like that whole thing for 7 days, and by the end of it, you're just ass whipped.
When's the summit? What day is the summit?
It's at the summit's August 2nd.
August 2nd.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah. And so that immersion will end in summit.
When is the next cultivate or crypto mindset?
So the next crypto mindset is going to be probably the sales start probably last week of May or maybe first week of June. But yeah, go to cultivatecrypto.com and go to my YouTube channel, Dollar Cost Crypto, and Jack Napier. When are you coming to Vegas?
Yeah.
Leave that feminist shithole you live at, bro.
I know.
Come over here, man.
Oh man. Okay. When are you leaving?
When am I leaving? I'm leaving Sunday.
Never.
Sunday. Dude, I'm coming. I want to come back. I really do. I want to come back. It's going to be so much fun. But for this, honestly, I've actually had a lot of people asking about book writing. So if I do a course, I'm probably going to start one on this.
You should. I'll help you, man.
Yeah,
well, people don't realize, like, they think it's just you write a manuscript and it's done. There's a whole process behind it. And I actually used to be a graphic designer and desktop publisher. So putting books together was
no kidding. Me too.
Yeah. But yeah, Dog Walker selling like hotcakes. It's absolutely awesome. I'm super happy. It's at the point that it's selling itself. I don't have to sell it. I got a new book coming out in the summer, Praxeology Volume 4, a continuation of field reports, so guys can learn from it. And in the fall, my new cyberpunk sci-fi dystopian novel.
Sci-fi, huh?
You know what's great about cyberpunk? High-tech, low life. Take all the stuff we have now.
All the dystopian shit we have now.
Add 10% to it, and it sounds like a crazy hellscape.
Nice.
So yeah, FemLaw, the feminine imperative, is now in charge of everything. Amazon runs you. Masculinity's banned kind of stuff. It's fun. It's interesting. It's great. And then, yeah, enough people have asked about it. I'm probably going to put out some material on getting other people to start writing it because you got a lot of guys who know a lot of red pill stuff from you. If they can put it to something creative and good storytelling, I think it would have far better reach than just being preached at by some guy staring at you.
Yeah, it needs to be entertaining.
And God knows you'd actually like to read it. It's much better than Adolescence. Was Adolescence the show where they hate you and they talk about stuff that makes no sense? No, this stuff's realistic. It makes sense. And it
we need writers to counter shit like that. Yeah.
So
speaking of dystopia,
assholeconsulting.com. That's it.
That's it.
And then if you're on my YouTube channel, I'm doing a series where I took excerpts from the Millennial book where I'm categorizing the different type of boomers that have lied to you in your life.
Thank you.
So that's
Awesome. And I have a new book that I'm working on, which is called Reignite. I'm about a third of the way through it right now. I'm hoping to have it out by the end of the second quarter of this year. So maybe around May-ish. And I might have some big news coming up very soon that I didn't talk about on the show, and I'm not going to talk about on the show until you don't talk about a pregnancy too early. So yes, and no, nobody's pregnant, just saying. But anyways, got some big news coming up pretty soon. So with that, guys, thanks for joining us today. And tomorrow I'll be on my show here, and Kyle will be producing. We good? Yep. Okay. So 1 o'clock Pacific. 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern, Rational Mail. Tomorrow, Sunday, I'm always on. So, and then Access Vegas on the 16th. That'll be our Wednesday show, and you're not going to want to miss that one because we got some special guests.
Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you. Bye.
Peace.
I need to feel you on top of me. It was my first time, but I was just a kid when we met and went to bed. It was my first time. What do you expect from me? I'm breaking up the rules now in the game. I've got some new tools. Please do the same. Time came by and went over like a matchbox stereo. My thoughts now let go. Bound to keep me up all night. But maybe we can fuck again, and maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again, then maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. You can have the best in my life. Now we're fucking in the bathroom, tearing up every wall while I got your hair. Why you screaming my name? She was swinging in the bedroom, whole time stopping and stuffing with her hair. Like she's Claudia Kelly. So baby, come ride me up and down like a pony. Turning up my song, getting nasty. Working up and down on your body. Ride me up and down like a pony. Turning up my song on your body. Baby, we'll get down to it all night. But maybe we can fuck again, and maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again, then maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again.
Preceding podcast has been a production of the Rational Mail. All rights reserved. 2025 registered trademark. Go to reignitealpha.com and don't steal Ned stuff.